What a finish! What a man!
The drum roll finishes, and the target is...
And it comes on finals night, and it's a knockout push.
Dirty Harrison! Van Velzen!
Oh, my word! Tom Sykes.
On a second leg, Tom Sykes.
Does he go for it? Why not?
On a second
He
leg,
has been magnificent
Dudbridge.
tonight.
He may go for it. He may take it.
on the match. Double 16.
Yeah,
Another
shot at
Tom
fifth
Plus
leg,
finish.
Brian Raman.
It's time to find out indeed. Good evening. Welcome along to Group B here at the Modus Super Series, where we've got quite the night ahead of us here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Well, the runners and riders are about to get underway on what is Grand National weekend. I'm in my stripes. Matthew Edgar's going to stick his colours to the mast as well over the course of the next few days. And this Group B, it's got a little bit of everything, hasn't it? It's got a bit of pace for the likes of Tom Sykes and Brian Raman, but we've also got the quality and experience of Simon Whitlock and Mark Dudbridge.
Yeah, and lots of questions to be answered tonight as well. Simon Whitlock, we know, has got the quality, 2 World Championship finals, 1 on the BDO, 1 on the PDC. Not shown it yet in 2025, and that's got to start somewhere, we believe. And we know the quality he's got, certainly in this sort of environment. So maybe tonight's going to be the start of his season.
So this is the second session of the day. Group C got underway earlier on this afternoon, and it was David Davies who won all 5 of his matches over the course of the afternoon session. Narrowly missed out on Group B on Wednesday, but it's fair to say that he's recovered well from that disappointment.
Oh, he was brilliant this afternoon. David Davies was just so solid, responsive, reactive, quality darts, and looked so in control of his emotions. And we said quite a lot this afternoon that he's sort of a player we've seen blossom and a player that we've seen sort of grow in this environment from when he first came here as an ADC qualifier. He has won everything in a Group B campaign before, won all his games, and you'll probably be able to tell me he's the oracle of Super Series knowledge. I don't think anyone's done that before where they've won all Group B and Group C games before.
Off the top of my head, I cannot remember somebody who's done both, but of course we will have a look into that as the evening goes on. But our focus tonight is on Group B here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, where somebody is, just like David Davies, looking to go 16 points from 16 points. And maybe one of them could be Simon Whitlock. Now, it's the third time he's played here in a short space of time. He played in week 2, made it through to the Saturday, lost to Jensen Walker, played in double trouble, didn't work out for him, but he's been given a second invitation into this particular series. How would you say so far Simon has acquitted to life here at the Live Lounge?
I think if we judge Simon Whitlock by anybody else's standards, we'd say he's done well. You know, he's knocked on the door, he's been very close to success here at the Super Series. But when we look at a player like Simon Whitlock, who is quite iconic with the world of darts and has achieved things beyond 99% of the field here at the Super Series, I would say he's got to win this week. He needs a weekly win in there to sort of really show the quality of the player that he is. And he'll look at a week like this. Yes, he's sort of a bit of a later call-up, but he will look at this opportunity and probably wonder why he's third favourite. And that was as of this afternoon. And I think anyone who watches this, who's watched darts over the years, will do the same. They go, why is Simon Whitlock third favourite? And that may just sort of light a fire in Simon Whitlock.
In terms of Tom Sykes then, really good week. Perhaps in most other weeks he would have been a comfortable winner of Group A. The numbers kind of speak for itself really, doesn't it?
Quality week from Tom Sykes. We said about David Davies being someone who's blossomed here at the Super Series. Tom Sykes, another one of those cases that sort of changed his life here at the Super Series, certainly in regards to getting sponsorship, getting opportunities, making this a viable now career for himself. And we know one thing that he really wants to add to his CV is a Champions Week title. He's got to get there first. and this is his last opportunity in this series. Group B tonight, he's got to find a way through.
So Tom and Simon are the two headline names in this group. These are the runners and riders over the course of the week here. Jimmy Van Schie, of course, won Group A on Wednesday afternoon. Group C is what we watched earlier on this afternoon. And joining Simon and Tom in the group will be Brian Raman, Mike Gillet and Mark Dudbridge. These are the odds then for tonight's action. Tom Sykes goes off the 5-4 favourite. Simon has actually come into 21-10. Any surprises in terms of the betting for yourself?
No, not really. I think that's pretty much where you kind of expect it to be on the basis of what we've seen from Tom Sykes so far this week. Simon Whitlock could give him a real worry there, and I think that's pretty much how everyone's assessed that action this evening in regards to Tom Sykes, Simon Whitlock probably being 2 to get through, and as the odds suggest there, 1 from the remaining 3.
18 plus, gambleaware.org if you're going to have a flutter on the Super Series tonight. Right, let's get straight into the action then, shall we? The first game of the night is a meeting between Brian Raman and Simon Whitlock. For the Wizard, it's a late call-up to his second appearance of the series, and he is hoping to lift a first title here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. His first assignment of the week was to have a catch-up with me early on tonight. Simon, back for another go here at the Super Series. How much are you looking forward to the next couple of days?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and it's good to be back always.
Third time you've been here in a short space of time. What's been your memories of the Super Series over your last couple of appearances?
Well, I only really remember the first one, getting through the finals night, and then losing in the semi, so that was pretty good.
Does that give you an extra little bit of motivation coming into this second appearance?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to make the finals night again, and then, at least make the final.
How have you found your start to the season, your first one off tour for a while?
Hasn't been great. I mean, I'm still messing a lot with darts, so who knows? It's just a lottery what's going to happen these days.
So is it just trying to find that winning combination then for yourself?
Yeah, just getting comfortable with something.
And then in terms of this group tonight, a lot of quick players, a lot of good players. How much have you seen of this week in preparation for tonight?
None, to be honest. I don't. I used to watch it all the time, but yeah, I haven't watched any.
Does that kind of help in a certain extent? Because I suppose the less you know, maybe the better it is, kind of a little bit of hindsight.
Yeah, maybe. I probably should have watched just to see how well people are playing and see what I'm up for.
Well, it was a last-minute call for yourself. So what was your kind of preparations in the week that you kind of had?
Exactly the same as normal, practicing, playing local tournaments and doing exhibitions. So very busy, and yeah, I'm ready.
Right, wish you all the very best. Simon, good luck.
Thanks, Henry.
Simon Whitlock in action in the opening game of the evening session, and we will keep him waiting no longer as he takes on Brian Raman, the quick-fire Belgian who finished third in Group A over the course of Monday to Wednesday here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. For Simon, a second appearance in this particular series. He made it through to the semi-finals in week 2. He was deposed by Jensen Walker in the end. He played at double trouble free, but was unable to make it through to the Saturday night showpiece. And so maybe for the Wizard, third time is going to be the charm here on the South Coast, residing, of course, in Waterlooville. A 15-minute drive from the venue here in Portsmouth, and he'll be hoping to enjoy home comforts here. Up against Brian, a man who had very much an up and down record with the Super Series over the 14 months or so he's been playing here. He'll be hoping to make it through to another finals night, but it's Simon Whitlock to get us underway. Matthew Edgar is alongside me here in the commentary box.
26.
And it should be an interesting night's worth of darts.
Oh, absolutely. When you look at the field and the players and the quality and the stories that we have here in this Group B campaign, one thing's for sure, it's going to be entertaining. But one thing I can make note of very, very quickly here with Simon Whitlock
57.
is the darts seem to be a little bit more of what we'd expect from Simon in terms of the traditional shape. Last time he was here during the Double Trouble, he was sort of tinkering with equipment, something we've known of Simon over the years. But he was going for more of a straight barrel, wasn't he? And they didn't quite work for him on that occasion.
96.
He has been saying that he's been trying to find the thing that works for him, trying to find the thing that's going to click him back into the gear,
80.
which gets him back to the type of level we know that he's capable of. Whether that's reaching those peaks of the past, that's probably not going to happen now. But he still feels that there is still something to give to this game, and that is why he's continuing to persevere and tinker around and just
42.
try and find what he feels is going to take him to that next level again.
100.
You mentioned it in the pre-match build-up that Simon's the type of player that should come into the Super Series having dropped off tour after so many years at the top and be expectant to win weeks.
100.
I absolutely stand by that. He's the sort
99.
of player that he will expect himself to come here and win weeks. He mentioned in his interview, didn't he? He used to watch the Super Series every day. And I guarantee while he was doing that in preparation for his tour life, he'd have been thinking,
40. Brian
I'd
require
win that week, I'd win that
120.
week, I'd win that week. And he'd have said that pretty much every week.
He's got a second stab in
90.
this
Brian
series of
require
picking up a check
140.
through to Champions Week once more. And Brian Man will do some weird things over the course of the next couple of days because he has shown us that he has got this ability just to make anything
67.
possible.
Brian require 30.
I don't get it.
Game shot on the first leg.
I do
Brian
not
Raman.
understand. Henry helped me out here. He went for the bullseye deliberately to leave
Second leg is Brian
30
to throw
and then
first.
split it.
I wish I could help you, but you're out of luck in that particular
60.
department.
So why go for the bullseye? I don't...
You're asking a guy who went treble 7 to leave double 3 earlier on this week.
53.
Maybe he just likes to put Owen Binks, our referee, to the test.
Maybe not so much our referee, maybe more our spotter who
97.
gets cold, shivering sweats when Brian Raman approaches the oche. I would like to say at this particular juncture, very good evening to our good friend and colleague, Marco
89.
Meyer, who is tuning in tonight. Always do enjoy a message from Marco. Hope you're well. It's been a while
58.
since we've seen Marco here at the Super Series.
You just wanted to point out you got a text message, didn't you?
Of a Marco Meyer, yes.
97.
Sure we'll see him again before too long.
$134.
Well, for Brian Raman, he took the opening leg of a break of foe and now threatening a 2-0 lead in this contest. Whitlock has not got out the gate. Brian Raman's been far from his best in this
152.
contest, but this has been just too much for the Wizards so far. And for Simon playing in this, he's had to adjust to a
45.
lot of new time zones in which to play matches. He's had to become accustomed to a 9:30 start, and now tonight he's having to get used to playing his first match at 10 p.m. as opposed to maybe playing his last match
98.
at 10
Brian
p.m.
require 107.
He's someone who just loves to play darts, though, isn't
71.
he, Simon Whitlock?
Simon require 86.
If you put an open on in the club next door tomorrow morning, Simon will be on the sheet.
And it was playing in those competitions which initially got Simon Whitlock back to
46.
the levels that we
Brian
saw him
require
after that initial
36.
drop-off in his game. And still plays that now, very much, as you say, a regular part of his programme. But for Brian Raman, this is double 16.
Opting to split again here, Brian Raman.
Game shot on the
And then
second.
Brian
leg.
Raman
Brian
finds the
Raman.
double 16 to double his lead, and he leads 2-0 in this
Third leg,
match.
it's Simon to throw first. Game on. $140.
Is Brian the type of player that a lot of people would have expected to have won a week here by now?
100.
I think regardless of what a lot of people would think, he is probably the person who's front of that queue who will believe he should have won a week by now. And that is where the frustration sits at
140.
times, when you believe you're capable of more than what you have shown.
There has been glimpses of stuff. He's
92.
played okay at the ADC Global Championship at the end of 2024. Played at the Lakeside, won a couple of games before then heading out at Frimley Green.
140.
And Whitlock here leaving 81 after just 9 darts. More
59.
like it from the Wizard, and he has got
Simon
time and
McQuaid,
space to get his first leg on the board, although this is just a hold of throw for the Australian. Double 12 for an 11
Game
darter,
shot on the
and that's
third
much
leg.
more like it from
Simon
Simon Whitlock. Back to 2-1.
Fourth leg, it's Brian to throw first. Game on.
I suppose for Simon as well, he's got that bit of a cushion in Group B compared to other groups as Raman finds the first max of the night. If he gets off to a slow start, then he knows he's still got time to recover,
49.
hasn't he?
Oh, in a Group B, certainly, yeah. We see the jeopardy of a Group C campaign, of a Group A campaign.
100.
Group B is where you've just got that little bit of time, that little bit of luxury where you can afford to get a few defeats and still be able to turn it around.
59. $100.
Raman leaving himself a 1-2-1 after 9 to extend the lead to 3-1. Averaging just under 85 so far in this contest.
100.
Look at that 11 dart in the previous, but hasn't been able to back it up on the Raman darts. Double 20, with a left double 18, but there's plenty of time on his
93.
side.
$59. Brian required
For
28.
the first time, I think I'm confident in saying he's going to go straight for this.
Game shot on the fourth leg.
I think you might be
Brian
right. That's a 14 darter. Raman moves into a 3-1 lead, a leg away from victory in the opening
Fifth
contest of
leg,
the
it's
night.
Simon to throw first. Game on.
It's interesting seeing all the different ways of which players come up from, and it tends to be a lot over in Europe where players come up with these
180.
different routes. And Brian Raman coming from Belgium, a country that
100.
Eric Claris used to represent, if you remember him, and he was probably a spotter's nightmare.
This is a player that used to go Shanghai in 16s.
96.
It's very much part of the framework for players in Belgium, the Netherlands, the lowland areas to be rather more creative in terms of the numbers and think on their feet a little bit more numerically.
55.
Whitlock leaving himself on the fish. Raman looking to finish this contest off once and for all. Only
100.
picks off the run
Simon
triple there.
require
Both want to finish after 9, but
170.
Whitlock will have first poke at a finish, which for a time he really made his own, wasn't it, the 170? He was the best hitter of this particular finish at his peak. Is he going to find it here?
145.
Grazes the 25. And that would have been the 5th of the week. What it has done, though, has put himself in a decent position to extend this game furthermore. 25 points away from bringing it back to 3-2 and to force a man to serve this game out. Double 8. 14 darter. Whitlock still in the contest, but Brian Raman now has the insurance policy of throwing first for the match. But it's an insurance policy he has to cash in here.
100. $42. 57. 57. 44.
Get the sense that for both players, this is an okay start, but there's still plenty more to come.
58.
They're just starting to creep towards the mid-80s now in the averages as the players warm into the task.
60.
The doubling in this game has been half decent. Whitlock 2 out of 3, Raman 3 out of 5. A lot more prolific with the 2 treble turns, but for Simon it's been all or nothing. The
100.
legs he's won have been very good, 11 and 14 darts, but the bits wrapped around it have been just a little bit subpar so far.
99.
And Raman has left himself on 1-4-1 to win this contest.
$52. Brian,
He's going to get 6 darts from here to wrap up the opening game of the night. Can be done on this particular occasion.
55.
And he just about leaves himself on a 2-darter. 86 for the match upon his return. For Simon, it's the worst possible start to this Group B campaign, but Group B does give you time to overcome
60.
a sluggish start,
Brian,
which
86.
he'll probably say this has been. Treble 19 for double 14 is what he's looking at with 85 left. He will come back for 33 if Whitlock cannot find the champagne shot.
Treble 19. Would have given him a dart at the bullseye instead. Brian Raman.
49.
8th visit to
Brian
the board
McQuarrie,
here to get the job
33.
done.
33 points away from a 4-2 win. Double 16.
1.
An opportunity
Simon
to wrap it up has come and
83.
gone, and so Whitlock will come back. Looking at 83 to take us all the way. Raman has had a couple of darts, a couple of opportunities. They've gone by the by. Can Whitlock take us all the way? Well, he can't now because that Treble 8 has left him on 42. And so Raman will come back
51.
looking at double
Brian
16
McQuarrie,
to
32.
wrap for the job up. Awkward has to move across.
No
And
score.
then unable to find, and so
Simon
Whitlock will
McQuarrie,
get free at the target.
32.
Raman has missed a handful at.
27 darts thrown here for Brian Raman and has been unable to get the
Game
job
shot on
done.
the
Now he's
sick
in trouble.
Simon Whitlock.
Simon Whitlock breaks the throw. He's now got the advantage going into the last leg. He probably can't believe his luck.
7th and final leg. It's Simon to throw first. Game on.
He's now favourite to get the job done in a game that would have been the same odds of a lottery win.
82.
Simon Whitlock won that last leg in 25 darts, which is actually the same amount combined for his first
60.
2-leg wins in this contest, 11 and a 14. But who's going to take the points in this opening encounter of this Thursday night here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth?
134.
You'd say after that visit of 134, it's Simon Whitlock.
100.
He's got the darts and he's got a dart lead.
$100.
Man needs to fill it up.
140.
140 doesn't leave him on a finish. So Whitlock here, 6 darts from 185 to complete a 4-3 victory, a comeback victory after Raman missed a handful of darts in the previous leg to get this wrapped up 4-2.
59. $140.
Big, brave
Simon
last start
McQuarrie,
there. Worked out well for Brian
126.
Raman. He's left himself handy here if Simon Whitlock can't polish up the 126. Needs the treble 19. Doesn't find it, and Brian Raman will get more match
58.
starts here, you feel.
Brian, it requires 61.
But we don't know what it's going to be at.
Well, the target of choice is double 18 and now double 9.
52.
Inside, that's now 7 darts missed for the match from
Simon
Brian Raman. And so
McQuarrie,
Whitlock is going to come
68.
back. 68 required to complete a 4-3 win, to complete a comeback win, and to get his campaign off to a perfect start. 1 dart, a double 16.
36.
Was not
Trying to require
the route to victory for Simon Whitlock. And so Raman, double 4. To eventually get over the line. He made hard work of it in the end,
Raman.
but he has sealed success against Simon Whitlock in the opening match of the night. A comeback victory, a 4-3 victory for the Belgian. A smile on the face, even if at times he wasn't overly enamoured with his display. His head's in his hands, but he's at the top of the pile. Raman 4, Whitlock 3, Gillet and Sykes is our next game. This is the tale of the tape from the opening match of the night. Raman a 4-3 victor against Simon Whitlock. After the break, Mike Gillet is up against Tom Sykes. Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius?
Yes.
Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Lewandowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new Modus Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th Modus Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 Modus Super Series champion, Scott Taylor?
One more time, your new Modus Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Nuke, Luke Lidlow! Welcome back to the Modus Super Series. For the break, Brian Raman got the better of Simon Whitlock by 4 legs to 3. Our second game of the evening is a meeting between Mike Gillet and Tom Sykes. Sykes came out of Group A. He played superbly in Group A. Running average of the group of 93.84. His doubling was sublime as well, 39.2%. And he takes on Mike Gillet in his first game of Group B. Mike, who is an ever-present here at the Live Lounge Reports. He's now played in each of the 10 Modus Super Series that we've had here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth.
Game on.
And in his previous 9 appearances, he has won a solitary weekly title. He got the better of Cam Crabtree
83.
in his weekly final win in Series 3. Don't ever know what ever happened to that young scallywag. But he takes on Tom Sykes,
38.
a man who's made 2 Champions Week finals. And only one other player has made 2 Champions Week finals. A guy by Luke Little. Whatever happened to him?
83.
Guy by the name of Luke Little, I should say.
$58.
But the way Tom Sykes played in that Group A, if he plays anywhere near that level, he gets through, doesn't he? Simple as that.
Yeah, you'd imagine
97.
so. And the thing is, he's starting to get confident, isn't he? He's starting to look like a player who
100.
believes he's the top guy now. That's where the difference lies. Doesn't matter what people tell you, what people think. You've got to
60.
believe it yourself, and you sort of get that feeling now with Tom Sykes that he doesn't just come here hoping to win a week. He comes here expecting.
100.
But for Tom, it's come based off reputation. It's not just a pipeline for that I can win a week. He's done it time after time. He's done it enough to justify. These weeks aren't just
100.
weekly appearances now. They are qualifying weeks for players like Tom, players like Jimmy. That's the psyche that they look at. But
100.
he finds himself a little bit behind the 8 ball in the opening leg.
78.
Gillet looking at 78 to hold his throw. And he's going to get 1 dart. Well, he should have had a dart at Tots, but he strayed wide into the 5. And so,
38.
as a
Tom
result,
required
Tom Sykes is going to
45.
get a look at this 45 to break. And now he's missed the big number. And so only 1 dart in his hand at double 16.
13.
And that caused him
Might
all
require
sorts of problems
40.
in Group A. He was missing that target on the southwest side of the board with all too much regularity. And so it's given Gillet here 3 darts at double top, double 10. To take out the first
20.
leg, but the opportunity have gone a begging.
Require 32.
They're the ones that frustrate you, certainly when you've got the
Game
advantage
shot
of
on
the
the first
throw.
leg. Tom Sykes.
And when you're playing the favourite in the group,
Second leg,
one
it's
of the
Tom to throw
favourites to win the
first.
week,
Game on.
and you're just giving away opportunities. You don't mind when you get beaten. But where the frustration is when you feel like you're losing, when you feel like you're giving it
140.
away.
$97. $100. $140. $42.
Feels like so far, nobody's exactly got out of their straps flying as of yet. Might be one of those sessions which is a
60.
little bit of a slow burner this evening. Having a think.
96.
He's himself on 1, 2, 3, but how handy can Gillet leave this against the darts?
94. Tommy require 123.
Leg 2 as easy as 1, 2, 3. The ball says yes,
70.
but the dart says no.
110.
To get his throw straight back. Oh, what's he doing? I think he may just be about to realise. And I've got a feeling there may be some students pulling him in tomorrow for a few maths
86.
lessons.
Tommy require 49.
And you may be taught a lesson here. Because
Game on the
Sykes
second leg.
finds a double
Tom
16
Sykes.
to double his lead. 2-0.
Third leg, it's Mike to throw first.
And this is just
Game
a
on.
business-like job for Tom tonight. He didn't want to really be in this Group B. He would have seen Group A as an opportunity to go and win and then have a couple of days off. Hasn't quite
43.
correlated for him. For Mike, well, we always see him in a Group B here at the Super Series.
140.
Just having a scour on our social media feed earlier on this evening, Matt.
134.
See, the next pair for the International Pairs event has been confirmed. John Henderson,
60.
Robert Thornton. Played a World Cup famously once together, didn't they?
Who are they going to be representing?
They'll be representing Scotland.
140.
The infamous slap on the back of the head springs to mind. One of the all-time great World Cup moments as Sykes finds his first 180 of the contest and maybe just beginning to brim into the contest a little bit. Average in excess of 92, but such are the standards
44.
that he's ascertained over the last 12 months or so. Numbers like that just feel par for the course. They don't feel spectacular when they come from Tom Sykes, where maybe for other players we'd be lavishing over
57.
it.
Might require 140. $60. Tommy requires 64.
So Sykes here looking at 64 to make it 3-0. Two singles leave the double,
32.
and it ain't
Might
going to be
require
found this
80.
time. Tops, nothing in the way,
40.
but he clips it
Tommy
just over the bar.
32.
He's had chances, as Mike, certainly on the legs of which he's thrown first. But he's had to move right across here, Tom Sykes, to try and open up the target.
No
Does so,
score.
catches the flight,
Might
and Mike will get
require
another
40.
opportunity now to get a leg on the board.
Tops is what he wants.
Game
Tops
shot
is what
the
he
third
gets.
leg.
And at the
Mike
fifth time of
Gillet.
trying, Mike Gillet's on the board in this contest.
Fourth leg, it's Tom to throw first.
But Mike's not the sort of
Game on.
person who would sort of count the misses as such. He'll just be grateful that it's now back on track. You do get some people that get so caught up with themselves, thinking I should be
91.
2-1 up now rather than 2-1 down. Mike's not built like that.
Just takes every leg as it comes, every
140.
visit as it comes. He doesn't get too carried away with himself.
96.
For Tom, he made a long journey on Sunday night to Portsmouth. Playing in Skegness at the
125.
British Internationals. England would go on to win that. Would travel 4.5 hours through the night to Portsmouth. Didn't arrive
98.
at his accommodation until 2:30 a.m. and then had to play on the Monday. And played superbly, it has to be said. Average of just under a ton.
81.
And we should say congratulations to one of our very own in Jared Cole, who was a part of the winning England team. He's part of our
100. Might require
spotters union, and
155.
we send our many congratulations to him. About time he picked
59.
another trophy
Tommy
up.
require 116.
Sykes looking at 116 to open up a 3-1 lead. Double top is what he wants.
96.
not what he's gonna get.
Might require 96.
Double top,
Game
double
shot on the
18.
fourth flag.
Beautiful way
Mike
of taking out the
Gillet.
96. A beautiful way to break back. And we are
Fifth leg,
level
it's Mike
once
to throw
again
first.
at 2 legs apiece.
Game on.
And if Marco Meyer was here, he'd be saying, yeah, that's game shot.
140. $100. $99.
Well, not too long ago, you was talking about the improvement in the game of Tom Sykes. We're now making rapid improvement here on the Mike Gillet game as well. This is picking up nicely.
180.
We have got a bit of a game on our hands. But again, Mike, questionable. Could have moved over to the 18s there on
59.
dart number 2 to keep the shot alive. I think the teacher may need teaching.
105. $28. Tommy Rock 160.
Well, that slip there means that Sykes has got 6 for the break from 116.
56.
There's tops for that in this game already, and he's going to come back. Well, should have 2 more at that target anyway upon his return to re-establish his lead to 3-2. He'd then have the darts to win the match from that particular point onwards, but he's going to be put under pressure by Gillet, who's left himself on a double, even if it is unconventional at double 19. So tops for Sykes for the break and a 3-2 lead. Now double 10.
50.
Doesn't go, and so Gillet's been afforded another chance.
38. Game shown the
And
fifth
takes the
leg.
chance. And
Mike
takes a
Gillet.
3-2 lead.
Well, when Tom Sykes went 2-0 ahead, had a handful of darts for a 3-0 lead, you would not have predicted this. But as we mentioned, Mike Gillet, not the sort of player that dwells on things.
100.
It's just throw at a time, and you can really see that mentality coming out in this game and how it's really benefited him here. I know it's something we
58.
always say, you should take it shot by shot, but it's so hard to play in that ilk. And Mike is probably one of the
43.
best at doing so.
$100. $140.
Mark Dudbridge coming up in the next game, taking on Simon Whitlock, who returns to the hockey after a 4-3 defeat to Darren Raman.
100.
That, the battle of the PDC World Darts Championship runner-ups.
140.
Well, Sykes that 140. He's left himself on a 2-darter to give us what would be our second last leg decider, and there's many games to kick off the evening session.
125. Tommy requires 70.
Hope you've got your Horlicks ready, because this could be a long night. 20 for tops. Tops for Sykes.
38.
Doesn't go, but if
Mike
Gillett's going to
require
win this match, he's going to have to take out the first ton plus check out of the night. It's not going to happen, and so Sykes will return for
94.
double top to
Tommy
take
require
us the
40.
distance. Got a beautiful guide. Surely just an in-off.
No score.
3 well throw darts, but none find the target.
require
And so Mike Gillet here is
24.
going to return for 3 match darts, a double 12 to seal a 4-2 victory. Tom Sykes shakes his head, but he may well be shaking his opponent's hand in a couple of moments. Double 6.
12.
But Gillet couldn't fill it to win it.
Require 40. Game
And
show
so
the
we're
sixth
going
leg.
to go the
Tom
distance.
Sykes.
Ironic celebration from Tom Sykes as we head
7 for final leg.
to a
It's
last
Mike
leg
to throw
decider
first.
in
Game
our
on.
second match in succession at the beginning of the night. And he is cutting, Matt, a very frustrated figure on the stage.
Well, that reaction tells you exactly what
96.
he's thinking, and it's very evident in the fact that he believes it's the doubles that are causing him the problems. And when you take a look at the checkout percentage, just
57.
18%. Tom Sykes, that is 3 from 16. But right now, he needs to find some power scores if he's going to even get any darts at a double here to win the
100.
match. Mike doing his job, finding a treble every visit. That is going to mean that Tom Sykes is going to need to find something very big.
99.
He's going to need to fill it. And that last dart was a very interesting switch, because now he needs 9 darts to finish.
83.
The wrong usage of the board.
Well, Simon Whitlock and Tom Sykes were the 2 bookmakers' favourites before a dart was thrown this evening. Sykes was
60.
quoted 5-4 favourite. Whitlock was quoted 21-10 second favourite, but they may well be defeated in their opening games of the night in last leg deciders because Gillet's left himself on a 2-darter after 12. Sykes, you sense, needs to fill it up.
And pace about the game of Mike Gillet as well. He is feeling good.
But is he going to be taking the points? One dart in his hand at double top is all he needs to win the game and to get his first win in his opening match against a frustrated Tom Sykes. But on the other side of the coin, elation for Mike Gillet. He gets his campaign off to a victorious start. He has a conflab with the referee, Owen Binks, about the game that we've seen. That is how the game went from a statistical viewpoint. Mike Gillet beating Tom Sykes by 4 legs to 3. Coming up after the break, Simon Whitlock looking to get his first win of the night against Mark Dudbridge in his first game of the night.
$54. Charlie McGuire, 164. $44. $32. Charlie required 120.
Well, 120. He's got a fair, at least 2 handfuls at this. Just needs to stay
60.
there. That's a good shot. Halves his score. Leaves himself on a 2-darter.
$26. Charlie
Time on his
required
side
60.
to become back-to-back singles champion.
$40.
Definitely a couple of nerves in those last 2 darts. But he'll be coming back.
The moment he's been in before this situation. Standing at the back of the stage,
Charlie
approaching the
required
Yoki with a
20.
chance to win the title.
He did this to win the first title, if you remember.
11.
I think he's gone.
Georgia
I think
required
he's gone to
180.
bust it, maybe. The first title he won, he wanted 20. He went 6-7-7 to win it. He had a chance to replicate it again.
Yeah, I get the feeling that was for a bust, and
39.
on that situation there, George Scaife wasn't even
9.
able to take it out going to the 18s on that switch.
Yeah, I think he just panicked a bit, but he's done well to get that big one.
Sometimes can be the hardest part.
Georgia requires
This is it.
79.
It's got to be 19s. It's got to be 19s for this shot. Big 20 and a double. He's got the first one. He's going to get a match dart here.
$59. Charlie
Threw the entire
required
body into that
8.
one. Just didn't want to let go of the dart.
No score.
He's given George a chance.
Georgia require 20.
I think George has been quite good on double 10 today.
So many opportunities for Charlie Murphy.
Go
Couldn't get the job
it.
done.
Got out the match! And the Red Dragon
George
Modus
Scaife.
Super Series Influencers Champion, George Scaife!
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where before the break, Mike Gillet got the better of Tom Sykes by 4 legs to 3. So that means that the 2 favourites to win this group have been defeated in their opening matches. Simon Whitlock was the 21-10 quoted second favourite to win this Group B, and he's in action for the second time this evening after a defeat to Brian Raman in his first match of the night. He takes on...
First leg, it's Mark to throw first.
Mark Dudbridge, who
Game on. 43. $58. $140. $180. $100.
Whitlock with the
86.
King's opening match.
$58. $99. Mark require 160.
Whitlock 78 for the break.
78. Simon
To
requires
take
78.
the opening leg of the contest. Tops. 1-0
Game
Whitlock.
on the first leg.
15 data.
Simon
Good leg
Whitlock.
to get the game underway.
Second leg, it's Simon to throw first. Game on.
And for Mark Dudbridge, some adjustments needed.
I mean, Dudbridge looks a lot better than the last time we saw him, doesn't he? I mean, we
60.
saw him a few weeks back, double trouble week, and he really did seem to be struggling throughout that campaign, certainly on day one. I know he took to his social media as well, didn't he, to speak about his disappointment
140.
and almost how he felt he let people down on that occasion. Really did sort of just struggle with the release of the dart. Hasn't really been playing too much on that occasion. Maybe coming into this one has managed to find a bit
96.
more time to prepare and seems to be throwing with much more freedom and ease right now, which is good to see.
I can imagine as well, there's probably a bit of a proving of a point for Mark after what
59.
happened at Double Trouble. Because it is very easy when you have a campaign which went the way it did for Mark, that you can almost come back in, you almost feel like you've got to justify yourself all over again.
97.
He's at a stage of his career, isn't he, Mark Dudbridge, where he can just literally enjoy a game. He was retired. It was things like the
40.
Super Series, like the seniors that got him playing again, that made him want to pick the darts up and got the hunger once again, got the fire in the belly once there's something that's quite achievable.
140.
We saw it from the likes of Kevin Painter as well, who were at the time thinking, right, there's nothing for me, so I'm just going to put the darts away for the rest of time. But
92.
new opportunities have
Simon require 108.
reignited the flame in players like Flash. Whitlock looking at 108 to double his advantage. And he's going to get a dart in his hand at double 16.
76. Mark, you require 170.
If he's going to level this game up, he's going to have to be flashy. It's going to have to be fishy, perhaps. But he's not going to find the second trouble there. And so Whitlock will
105.
come back for 3 more at double 16 to double his lead.
Game shot on the second
No mistake,
leg.
2-0 Whitlock.
Simon Whitlock.
And a solid performance. There's 15 dart, 16 dart up.
Third leg, it's Mark to
This is
throw
where
first.
Simon Whitlock's game
on.
tends to be when he's starting to get into his A game. Very regular, consistent, around that 5 visits to the board.
60.
If he gets that going, he's going to pick up some serious points this evening.
What do you reckon the path for the course will be for this group in terms of
115.
qualification? Could it be a 6-point group, or do you reckon 8's going to be the mark to get through?
I'd feel a 6. I don't think anyone's going to go through this group sort of getting zeroed. And I don't think anyone's going to run away with it at the top.
100.
I mean, we've already seen evidence of that in the fact that the favourites to win this group, Simon Whitlock and Tom Sykes, both losing their opening games by 4 legs to 3.
100.
But for Mark, he's probably the first of a generation of FDM,
140.
first dart merchants, where you knew if that first dart hit sweet as a nut, you knew others were going to follow. Real power scorer is Dudbridge.
100.
Couldn't mix it with the best of them in those particular stakes himself. He's left himself on a finish after 9 against the throw, but how handy could Dudbridge leave it from here?
140
says very handy.
So I'm going to book 146.
Whitlock looking at 146, not going to go on this occasion, and so Dudbridge will return for 61 to bring it back to 2-1.
98. Market requires 61.
And if he doesn't, Whitlock should get a couple in hand and a double for a 3-0 lead. Double 18 is what Dudbridge wants. And double 18 is not what he's going to get, and so Whitlock will return for 48 to get the double break and to open up a 3-0 lead in this contest. 2 in his hand at double 16. He cannot get, and so Dudbridge will return for 3 more.
Require 36.
Well, the last time Mark Dudbridge was here, he competed in a week called Double Trouble, and that may be the theme of this game for Flash.
Game shot on the third leg.
That squeezes into the corner, and Simon Whitlock opens up a 3-0 lead.
It's Simon to
and
throw
now
first.
has the darts in his hand to complete a whitewash win.
$131.
Of course, all the action live on Pluto TV on our 24/7 dedicated
60.
darts channel. Plenty of great content available there, including the Tungsten Talk series, which you can watch to your heart's content.
60.
And you can also catch up with some of the classic games that have taken place here at the Super Series, some of our Champion Grand Final nights, and some of our action from the ADC Global Championship, which will be making its return in December. £150,000 prize pool, 60 grand going to the winner. The biggest prize pool which can be offered here at the Live Lounge. And Whitlock here has really turned up the style as the game's gone along. 15, 16, 16 in the legs that he's won this game in. Average of 96.11. And is 6 starts away here from completing a win, and a comprehensive one at that, against Mark Dudbridge.
Performance of the night so far.
40.
We was just having that discussion, wasn't we? Who's going to step up to the mark? Who's going to be the front runner? Well, Simon Whitlock showing levels that we've not seen yet from any of the players. And we've seen all the players now.
Simon never required 107.
All 5 players you're going to see in action. All have graced the stage at least one occasion. This would be some way to win it.
But Whitlock isn't going to take
90.
it.
Mark require
He's going to do the
120.
next best thing and leave himself on a 2-darter. With Dudbridge cannot climb the ladder here. Well, he has to go down a rung to head to the top and to head to the summit.
80. Simon
His
require
6th dart missed at a double,
80.
and it may well be the last he's afforded, because Whitlock will come back here for 80. And he's going to get a matched up, finally stay straight. A double top to wrap it up.
60.
But it doesn't go, and so Dudbridge will have 3 more at the target that his opponent's just missed. He makes no mistake. That's a break back. 3-1.
5th leg, it's Mark to throw first. Game on.
The scoring's not been too bad for Mark. 86.2 the average, but 1 out of 7 on the finishing. Is going to have to improve as the night goes along.
48.
But it's certainly encouraging, isn't it? Because a lot of people would have Been watching this game with question marks.
140.
What is Mark Dudbridge going to perform like? How is he going to perform? Well, he's going to be competitive, that's for sure. That's something we've learnt from this game.
59.
Because despite this being the performance of the night so far from any player here by Simon Whitlock, Dudbridge just kept pace. And all but for a few missed starts at a double, this game would be level.
134. $47.
Whitlock tiptoeing towards victory. You should say from this point onwards, Matt, that Whitlock is a shoo-in to win this contest.
100.
Dudbridge is going to have to lace up as the night goes along. Whitlock looking at 127 to win the game.
99. Simon Iroquois, 127.
With time. Which means he doesn't need to go for the ball.
95.
And he doesn't. Sensibly sets it up for another one of those 5-visit legs this time. It would get him over the line.
It would seal success for
60.
the Wizard.
Simon Iroquois,
Double 16
32.
for a 4-1 win. And double 16 is found. Simon Whitlock lost his first match, but has recovered well there to seal a 4-1 success against Mark Dudbridge, who scored okay in that game, but 1 from 7 on the doubles was ultimately what let him down. For Whitlock, well, 2 games done for the night. 1 win, 1 defeat, and this is how he did so. 93.19 average, 4 from 10 when it came to the finishing, and a comprehensive 4-1 victory. Coming up after the break, Brian Raman takes on Mike Gillet. Yeah, really looking forward to that. International pairs getting underway in May, and the first big name team announcement is Team Scotland, and that is John Henderson and Robert Thornton representing there. And of course, they have played together at the PDC World Cup before, but they'll be playing in the first international pairs for the Tartan Army. Well, Brian Raman will probably feel like he should be one of the members of the Belgian team that will be participating in that tournament. Mike Gillet will be hoping to represent Wales. We'll give you the full lineups in that particular tournament over the next few weeks. I have had a little bit of a glance at some of the pairings that are in play for that particular comp.
100.
Team Holland look good. There's a couple of other nations which the selections you'll be fascinated with. That all gets underway on the 5th of May, live here on Pluto TV in the United Kingdom and associated territories. So if you haven't done so already, download the app. It's available via your app store on your smartphone or your smart device. Free to download, free to view. You can watch that as well as all the other darts here if you haven't downloaded the app already and you're watching via other means. Game 4, Brian Raman and Mike Gillet. Two players who won their opening games. Raman got the better of Simon Whitlock 4-3. Gillet got the better of Tom Sykes on that particular score. And actually trailed in that game by 2-0 before sealing the comeback win. And Mike, to be fair, looked really solid in that opening contest as Raman piles in the first match of the game.
I think it's safe to say both players got better as the game went on, which means if that continues, that there's going to be even further improvement here into this game, and that's a great start there for Brian Raman. Backs up the maximum visit with a 106 checkout, and look what it means to Raman. He does seem to play better when he plays with a bit of fire in the belly, and he is trying to light that flame.
96.
First ton plus checkout of the night goes the way of the Whittler.
60. 93. 100. 96. 140.
This is a really handy display so far from Brian. Average in excess of a ton. 15 data, ton plus checkout the opening leg.
46.
Mike Gillet, he's playing okay, but at this present moment in time, he's almost had to succumb to the brilliance of Brian.
100. Might require 100.
He's just playing with a fluency at the moment, isn't he, Brian Raman? The way he's just gliding around the stage.
Gillet unable to find the second treble 20 there, which would have left him a dart at the ball. He's going to leave himself on double 18. If Raman cannot take out his second consecutive ton plus checkout, he's unable to on the 101. So Gillet free in his hand at double 18 to level this contest up at one apiece.
Game shot
to the top corner, and back on level terms.
Third leg, it's Brian to throw first. Game on. 140. 60. 96. 41.
A man taking charge of this third leg. Gillet, even himself on 400, 101 points scored in his first 6 darts, and Raman has taken full advantage of that.
59. 99.
It's interesting the use of the board that Brian Raman uses, isn't it? Because there's times where he'll utilise the ball and you think, why is he doing that? And there's other times you feel certain that he's going to try and incorporate the bullseye 25 segment and opts not to.
Game
But
shot.
what he's done here is
a
another
Brian Raman.
106 finish, but a different way this time.
Fourth leg, it's Mike to throw first.
And that is
Game.
just so typically Brian Raman. Anything goes with this brilliant Belgian. And he opens up a 2-1 lead.
60.
What's it they used to say on the...
94.
The cards are right. What's it? The cards are right. The Bruce Forsyth show. You get nothing for a pair in this game. With a pair 106 checkouts has given Raman a 2-1 lead in this match.
55.
That famous show, The Cards Are Right, yeah?
Play your cards right. That was the name of the show, wasn't it?
100. $140. $100.
Really good performance this from Brian. 96.61 the average. Couple of ton plus checkouts in there. The only thing I will say, though, was he played like this in the opening stages of his match against Simon Whitlock and just stalled a little bit as the finishing line approached. And a little bit of a stall there means that Gillet's got 6 darts and 146. Remember, he found himself behind against Tom Sykes and then managed to claw a route back into the match.
84. $58. Mike requires
So
62.
62 points away from a level game. So I'm going to be one dart. Well, it should have been a dart, but that's not for the first time tonight. Mike Gillet has missed a regulation big number, which has then costed him a go at a double. And so Raman here is looking for his third ton plus checkout of the match. If he can find the 1, 2, 3. Trouble 19 gives himself a dart at the bull.
98.
Clips a 25, and so Gillet's going to get 3 more to level up. Last time hand a double 5 doesn't go, and so Raman has a tangible break chance here. If he can find double 4, gets the double 4. And Raman gets the break and opens up a 3-1 lead.
Fifth leg, it's Brian to throw first. Game on.
Well, this is for back-to-back victories here to start his campaign here in Group B. And when we're suggesting that the potential in this group is 6 points, maybe 8, to get one of those qualification places, getting 4 from 4 will put Brian Raman in a very strong position.
$60. $125. $131.
Raman looking at the big fish to win the match.
83. Brian
Gillet had his moments, but Raman here averaging in excess of 91. It's been a really handy performance, and it looks like it's going to be
94.
the Belgian that's going to make it 2 wins from 2 at the beginning of this Thursday night. Gillet unable to take out the 153, and so Raman, the moment is now. Look at it, 76 to complete a 4-1 victory.
Brian requires 76.
Will stay there to leave his favourite double 18.
58.
It just goes on the inside.
16.
And so get it back for double 8 to break back and to keep this contest going.
Game shot.
In it goes, 13 darter.
Mike Gillet.
Back to 3-2. It's been a decent contest, this.
Sixth leg, it's Mike to throw first. Game on.
Winning legs of 15, 16, 15 and
24.
a 13 in there as well.
But that is not the way to start up a leg, and Mike Gillet, for the first time tonight,
99.
shows a little bit of frustration. No, so he's just handed away the advantage in regards to taking this to a last leg shootout.
58.
And again comes up without a treble. Opportunity now for Brian Raman to open a bit of a gap.
58. $140.
And Gillet here having a decent enough leg on the throw, but Raman with a max here will leave himself on a finish after 9. Does exactly that. His
180.
second of the contest as he looks to wrap up the contest. And Gillet here needs a couple of trebles. He's not going to find it. And so the
100,
Belgian
Brian,
has got 6 starts of 164 to collect his second consecutive victory at the beginning of the night.
58.
And look what he's left again. If he gets this, it'll be a hat-trick of 106 finishes in the same
121.
game. And you know what? He may have to take it
106.
out following that visit from Gillet. And it is on. And it is double 16 to have done it for a
74.
third time.
Might give required.
In a third
58.
different way.
Which probably sums Brian Raman up. But one characteristic which sums Mike Gillet up is perseverance, a never say die
48.
attitude. He had a couple of darts
Brian
to take
required.
us all the
32.
way to a last leg decider, but this match now very much in the hands of Brian Raman, who looks at double 16
Game,
to
shot,
complete
and
a
a
4-2
match.
win, and
Brian
to get his
Raman.
second win of the night, and to put himself in pole position in the group. For Mike Gillet, well, it's a solid start, 1 win, 1 defeat. He's on the board, but Brian Raman has taken the early ascendancy in this Group B. 4-2, he beats Mike Gillet. 2 106 checkouts, got him his first couple of legs. But Tom Sykes could join him on coming up out of the break, Sykes and Dudbridge looking for the first win.
$54. Charlie McGuire, 164. $44. $32. Charlie required 120.
Well, 120. He's got a fair, at least 2 handfuls at this. Just needs to stay
60.
there. That's a good shot. Halves his score. Leaves himself on a 2-darter.
$26. Charlie
Time on his
required
side
60.
to become back-to-back singles champion.
$40.
Definitely a couple of nerves in those last 2 darts. But he'll be coming back.
The moment he's been in before this situation. Standing at the back of the
81.
stage,
Charlie
approaching the
required
Yoki with a
20.
chance to win the title.
He did this to win the first title, if you remember.
11.
I think he's gone.
Georgia
I think
required
he's gone to
118.
bust it, maybe. The first title he won, he wanted 20. He went 6 7-7 to win it. He had a chance to replicate it again.
Yeah, I get the feeling that was for a bust, and
39.
on that
Charlie
situation there, George
required
Scaife wasn't even
9.
able to take it out going to the 18s on that switch.
Yeah, I think he just panicked a bit, but he's done well to get that big one.
Sometimes can be the hardest part.
Georgia requires
This is it.
79.
It's got to be 19s. It's got to be 19s for this shot. Big 20 and a double. He's got the first one. He's going to get a match dart here.
$59. Charlie
Threw the entire
required
body into that
8.
one. Just didn't want to let go of the dart.
No score.
He's given George a chance.
Georgia require 20.
I think George has been quite good on double 10 today.
So many opportunities for Charlie Murphy. Couldn't get the job done.
And the match! And the Red Dragon
George
Modus
Skate.
Super Series Influencers Champion, George Skate!
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where we've reached the halfway point of the night. The halfway game sees Tom Sykes and Mark Dudbridge go head-to-head. Before the break, Brian Raman doubled up his tally for the evening. 2 wins from 2. Got the better of Mike Gillet by 4 legs to 2. Couple of 106 finishes to get his first couple of legs on the board. Mike Gillet threatened a comeback charge, but Raman just had too much in that particular contest. But for this pair, it is all about getting on the board. Tom Sykes was in control of his game against Mike Gillet in game 2 of the evening session. Opened up a 2-0 lead, but was unable to convert it. Gillet winning 4-3 after Sykes did miss darts to win the match. And I suppose his brain was probably a bit of a mash after missing out there. Up against Mark Dudbridge, who, in terms of the scoring, was okay against Simon Whitlock, but 1 from 7 on the doubles is not going to wash.
100.
But it was encouraging, wasn't it? It was better than what we saw when he was here for Double Trouble Week. And that is the thing that he will certainly take comfort in.
137. $82.
I suppose for Tom Sykes, if he loses this game, the disappointment of Group A could
58.
begin to whirl into tonight's action. And suddenly, the room for manoeuvre for him will begin to dwindle somewhat.
81. $91.
Sykes leaving himself on 116. He's done that a few times tonight. Mr. Dart at tops for it in his opening game against Mike Gillet.
135. Tom, you have 160.
The opening leg. We've already seen a couple of 106s from Raman. Is Sykes going to treat us eventually to the 116? If at first you don't succeed, you try again, and eventually you get what you want.
First leg. Tom
Sykes to the 116 to open up his account.
Second leg, it's Mark to throw first. Game on. $140.
So Sykes one up. What kind of response are we going to see here for Mark Dudbridge?
140.
Sat beautifully in the top of the bed there for Mark Dudbridge. You just expected that one to go in. Inviting darts. And encouraging darts.
180.
Problem is he's up against one of the big hitters here at the Super Series here in Tom Sykes.
$95.
Well, suddenly we have got a contest between two players at the real peak of their powers. Mark Dudbridge here may have to take out this leg in 12 darts, otherwise he may lose it. He's going to get 2 in his hand, a double 16.
Game
Quality, 11 darter to level us up at 1 apiece. And both of these players are playing at their premium best. Couple of legs in, I know, but Sykes averaging 115.75, Dudbridge 117.26.
140.
And the quality it feels is only going in an upward direction right now.
Yeah, the quality continuing here. Good battle. And you feel that this is a battle that Mark Dudbridge right now is really enjoying. Whereas for Tom Sykes, you feel like he may be thinking about the result and the need of the result. But
140.
certainly embracing. That's just because of where they are in their careers. Mark Dudbridge, everything's a bonus from this point.
95.
He'd put the darts away. For Tom Sykes, this is a potential career for him.
Well, they're two players at different points. For Tom
100.
Sykes, this is what he hopes is the beginning of a journey, whereas for Mark Dudbridge in his twilight years, just looking to enjoy it for all he wants. Now, Tom Sykes here, averaging 118.73. His record average in this building, 113.43
99.
in a Champions League demolition of Adam
121.
Paxton back in August. And he's looking for his second ton plus checkout.
103.
And graded
Archer
the
require
inside of the double
167.
18. Dudbridge isn't going to take out the 167, so Sykes will return free in hand of
60.
double 9 to
Tommy require 80.
open up a 2-1 lead in this match.
Game
And
shot on the
with a
third
slight
leg.
clip off the barrel, Sykes does
Sykes.
re-establish the advantage.
Fourth leg against Marks to throw first. Game on.
Good game this, Matt.
81.
Quality. World-class darts here.
140. $60.
But the question, I guess, is who can stay at this pace?
57.
Who can keep this tempo up and the levels up? And on the evidence of what we've seen in recent times, you'd suggest that Tom Sykes can stick to the heat of this kitchen.
42. $140.
Excellent 140 from Tom Sykes. Leave 164.
$45. Tommy require 164.
Well, this for the break, 6 darts from that 164 for Tom Sykes. Not to be on this occasion.
104.
But what he has done is left himself in a very good position. 60 after 12. Mark Dudbridge has not been able to keep up with this scoring spree from Tom Sykes. Average still in excess of 112.
93.
And could be on the
Tommy
cusp of a
require
break,
60.
which really will put this game in his favour. 2 darts at double top, and he's got more if he
Game
needs
shot
it.
the
But that's a
fourth
14
Tom
darter.
Sykes.
That's a break. It's 3-1 Tom Sykes with the darts to round it off, averaging
Fifth leg, it's Tom to throw first.
111.23.
Game on. $91. $58. $100.
That's one ability Tom Sykes does have. Even a poor visit, he'll be able just to pick that odd treble off. He's not
97.
someone you see as a mass hitter with treble as scores.
$60.
You felt there was going to be some form of reaction, didn't you, from Tom Sykes after losing that opener, but maybe not to this sort of level. This is almost record-setting
97.
in this venue for Tom Sykes' level.
Well, he did lose a game on Tuesday and then responded with an average of 111.
65.
So far this week, Tom Sykes has had 3 ton plus averages, including that 111.33 I aforementioned. 3-ton plus averages, and he still didn't even win the group.
134.
That was the quality we saw in this Group A. And he's now within a couple of darts of securing his first win in Group B. Mark Dudbridge has played okay in both of the games he's played, an average of 91 here. But his first 2 games have been against the first 2 favourites. That 180 gives him a floating chance in this leg, but Tom Sykes is going to get 2 darts in his hand, a double 16 to complete a 4-1 win. And a 4-1 win it is. And what a performance from Tom Sykes. 104.1 the average, 4 from 7 on his doubles. It kick-started with a 116 checkout, and he never then put his foot off the throttle from that point onwards. For Mark Dudbridge, a couple of decent displays. Average there 95, had 1 go at a double, took it for an 11 darter. But that game was all about the brilliance of Tom Sykes. A 4-1 win against Mark Dudbridge. Reaction from the first half of games coming up after the break. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where Thursday's action has reached the halfway point here in Group B. Before the break, we saw a scintillating performance from Tom Sykes, average in excess of 104 to get the better of Mark Dudbridge by 4 legs one. But it's Brian Raman that leads the way. 2 wins from 2 for the Belgian. And so he is the player at the top of the pile at the midway point of the night. Matthew Edgar is alongside me here in the Pluto TV studio to look back at all of the action so far this evening. Brian Raman, 2 wins from 2. Got over the line eventually in game 1, but a much better performance in his second game.
Yeah, he's got the wins now. He's built up as the day's gone on as well, hasn't he? He started a bit slow, got stronger as the day's gone on, and I think that's going to be the general vibe of which we see moving forward. He's doubling so much more tighter. His board management a lot tighter than what we've seen from him in the previous visits here. He's sort of been spraying darts. We know he's going to go different routes for things. We know he's going to go different ways, but it's when he's had to move around that he's really struggled with that. We have seen him sort of shaking the arm a little bit, flexing the arm. We know he's had that shoulder surgery in the past, but things are looking good right now for Brian Raman. If you would have offered him 4 points tonight, he'd probably have taken those, and that's what he's got right now. He's still got 2 more games to add to that.
For Tom Sykes, obviously disappointed to lose the first game, but the way he reacted in that previous game before the break is the type of reaction that we expect of a player that's made 2 Champions League finals here.
We were saying, wasn't we? We've been looking for that standout performance from anybody. It looked like Simon Whitlock was laying down that marker. Brian Raman potentially putting it forward, but now we've got it. Now we've got the benchmark. Now we've got the gold standard, and that came from that performance there from Tom Sykes. It was an absolute brilliant reaction. It wasn't like it was 100+ average that was boosted by one good leg. It was brilliant throughout the entirety of the match.
In terms of Simon Whitlock, what would be your assessment of his night so far?
I think he's in an okay place. He seems to be certainly getting better as the night's gone on. That seems to be the vibe. Maybe the whole group just a bit wary of each other in the early fixtures, just needing that fixture to settle, which if that is the case, we're in for a really good back end of this group. Should
be an intriguing end to proceedings. So in terms of the bottom 2 in the group, what would be your assessment of their nights, Mr. Dudbridge and Mr. Gillet?
I think Mark Dudbridge has been quite impressive, actually. I didn't know what to expect from him. I think I feared a little bit for him on the basis of what we saw at Double Trouble. I thought, is this coming a bit too soon on the back of that disappointment? Certainly after the back of the seniors' disappointment as well. But he's been playing quite well. I think I've been quite impressed with him. Mike Gillet, there's nothing to assess, is there? We know what we get with Mike Gillet. Every single visit matters. He'll battle it to the very end. He's got a win on the board, and I don't think anyone's going to go through the night not picking up a win.
So that is the half-time assessment of tonight, but next week is going to be quite the intriguing week here at the Super Series with a certain bronzed Adonis headlining the show. It's on for an 11 darter here. That's a ton checkout.
That's a special finish.
Real legends of the sport. Beaten for the clean sweep. And he pins the double 12.
The wait is over.
Steve Beaton's going to be the headline attraction next week. Richie Burnett is going to be in Group A. We're going to see the return of Conor Heenahan, the 9-dart man here at the Super Series as well. Interesting Group B. Adrian Gray, David Pallett are going to be in there. Whilst Group C has got a couple of players that have become, I suppose, regulars here in Tom Lonsdale and Dan Asprey. That's going to get underway on Monday morning from 9:30. And look, Steve Beaton's played here in a couple of specials weeks, hasn't he? Played at the Legends League, played at Double Trouble, but it's the first time he's going to be playing here in the main Super Series format. The fact he's played in those couple of specials weeks, does that give him a bit of an advantage going into his first main campaign here?
I was here for one of those weeks and Steve Beaton came up here to the studio and he described it as tiring. As an endurance battle, something that he's not had to worry about before in the past. So that gives him a good insight, because that's what this is. And I think it's going to put him in good stead, absolutely.
Just having a look over my shoulder, because we haven't seen too much of that speaker in the last few weeks. But with Richie Burnett back, I'm sure speaker cam is going to be something that we'll be talking about a lot next week.
I've missed something here, haven't I?
The Richie Burnett speaker thing. You got no. Right. You completely didn't get the joke. Right, the action gets underway Monday at 9:30. Some legends are in action. If you want to be here to see some of the legends in action, and Matthew Edgar as well, have a look at this. I've just spent that VT informing Matthew Edgar as to what Richie Burnett tends to do when he's on the Super Series stage. Our 6th game is a meeting between Mike Gillet and Simon Whitlock. For this pair, 2 points apiece. Whitlock with the better legs difference, though, at this stage of the night. And the winner of this contest will join Brian Raman on 4 points in the group. And will give themselves a big leg up going into their final matches of the night. For Simon Whitlock, you could say that this is perhaps a more important game to win than it is for Mike Gillet, because for Whitlock, his final game comes against Tom Sykes in game 9 of the evening session, and you suspect that Sykes, after that average of 104, is just going to continue to go through the gears, whilst Mike Gillet will take on Mark Dudbridge, who might be bottom of the table without a point, but actually played okay this evening. But for Simon, well, 2 different types of performances. A slow start against Brian Raman and a 4-3 defeat, but a better performance in a 4-1 success against Mark Dudbridge, averaging 93.17. For Mike Gillet, he got the better of Tom Sykes in a last leg decider before then going down 4-2 to Brian Raman in his 2nd match of the evening. But on the evidence of both players' play so far this evening, Matt, who would you put as the slight favourite to win this encounter?
Well, I think a lot of this game is going to rely on what Simon Whitlock does. We know what we're going to get from Mike. He's going to be that sort of mid-80s, somewhere between 36. An 84 and an 88 is where I believe he's going to pitch. It's just, what Simon Whitlock do we get? And when we look at the last performance from Simon Whitlock, that game against Mark Dudbridge, there were some really encouraging signs. And if he's anywhere around those sort of levels, you feel that the Wizard will be putting some points on his table.
100. Simon never quite 133.
So 6 darts here for Whitlock to take out the opening leg of this encounter. 83. Picks up treble with his last, leave himself on 50 after 12.
$133.
Simon effectively halves the score. But Whitlock should get 2 darts in hand to take out the opening leg. Double 16. His favourite. It's not found, and so Gillet, yes, an outside chance, but an opportunity nonetheless to take the opening leg. Another. Just drifts low, and so Whitlock will have 3 more at double 8 to take out the opening leg of this encounter.
82. Simon, it requires 16.
So 2 8s. And now a double 4.
8. Mike, you require 50.
And Gillet's got an opportunity here to win a leg that he's been comprehensively outscored in. Well, this is an unconventional double-double, not by design, but it's taken out nonetheless.
Mike
An
Gillet.
apologetic look as Mike Gillet steals that opening leg
Mike to throw
in
first.
flashy fashion.
Game on. $45.
Well, I have to send our congratulations to Stephen Bunting tonight for winning
97.
this evening's Premier League in Berlin. He was 9 in terms of victories prior to tonight, but he's won week 9 in the German capital, beating Go in Price 6-5 in a thrilling final at the
96.
Uber Arena. Bunting beat Aspinall 6-2 in the quarterfinals. Humphreys beat Cross 6-3. Doby beat Littler 6-2. Go in Price got a bye because of the withdrawal of Michael Van Gerwen due to
82.
injury. Semi-finals, Stephen Bunting 6, Luke Humphreys 2, Go in Price 6, Chris Doby 2, and then Bunting beating Price, as I say, 6-5
40.
in the final. And so Bunting getting his first points on the board in this year's Premier League campaign.
123.
And so in terms of the table and the race for the playoffs, Littler top 26 points, Humphreys second on 20, Price 15. Van Gerwen just about inside the playoff positions with 13 points to his name. Cross on 12, Aspinall on 10. But Stephen Bunting has put himself from 0 to 5 straight away, and suddenly an unlikely
59.
charge for the playoffs may well be beginning for the Bullet. And it's fair to say that he has broken the duck in some fashion.
140.
Whitlock, of course, a former Premier League player, and he's looking at a 140 here to level up. And if he doesn't, Gillet's got 3 darts at tops. He went tops. He couldn't find.
100.
And perhaps the live dart 1 was actually quite inviting for another one to join in a dart at double 10. But that wasn't to be the case. And so Gillet tops for 2-0, now double 10. Doesn't go, and so Whitlock will come back for 3 more to level this contest up. And now he looks at 2 10s.
Game.
And unlike Mike Gillet, he finds
Simon Whitlock
to level up at 1 apiece.
Third leg, it's Simon to throw first. Game on. $140. $97.
On a pinhead. That maximum there from Simon Whitlock.
99. $121.
Well, Whitlock here on for a potential 11 dart leg to take the lead for the first time in this game. Of course, trailed 1-0 in this match. So double top to put himself in front. 2 10s, but plenty of time.
40.
If you're going to miss, at least miss that side, because you don't want to go inside and then have the trouble with the 10-point breakdown.
46.
So Whitlock, plenty of time from here. And if he misses inside dart 1, he may well split.
Game.
But you don't have to worry about that 13 darter to put his nose in front 2-1.
Fourth leg, it's Mike to throw first. Game on. 81. $100. $44. 100. $100.
Well, Whitlock here is finding quality as this
59.
night goes along. Slow start, 79 average in his first, uptick to a 93 in game 2. And once again here, his average in excess of 90.
74.
But Mike Gillet's one of those players that's just so hard to shake off, isn't he?
Yeah, that was kind of the
59.
pre-match analysis, wasn't it? The sort of preview for this match where we said Mike Gillet will be sort of consistent, will be steady, will be there or
121.
thereabouts should an opportunity present itself. And he's one of those players that you've got to go and beat.
$127. Might require 81.
So Gillet here looking at 81 to level his match up at 2 apiece. The ball is not going to go, and so Whitlock's going to come back here
Simon never require 56.
for an opportunity to break the throw and to open up a 3-1 advantage in this contest. Misses the big number. He's going to have to spurn one. It's only going to be one in hand at double 16.
24.
Unable to get it.
Mike require
So Gillet
25.
back for 25 to level up at 2-2. Double 8. Now 2 4s.
Game
Square
show
us
the
up.
4 flag. Mike Gillet.
Once again, very, very hard
Fifth leg, it's
player
Simon
to
to throw first. Game on.
try and get away from. And obviously a little bit camera shy.
80.
Be hoping not to fall through the tungsten trapdoor come the end of this group. I don't know why we keep saying that, because there isn't a trapdoor in this building.
61.
Or at least not that I know of anyway. I would have thought by now if there was one I would have found it.
I also don't imagine
39.
it would be made of tungsten.
$97.
Some people may think there's a well in this building after some of the MCing that I've done over the years, but there's definitely no tungsten trapdoor.
125.
Although, if you're Paul Nicholson, there's a trapdoor. The trapdoor's double free.
95. $59. $43. $58.
Well, Whitlock again leaving himself on 140, but Gillet may feel like here there's a break opportunity perhaps opening for him.
97. So I'm in a require
He
140.
will be just a slender favourite to win this leg. This time stays there, finds the second treble, double 10. What am I
Game
talking
shot
about?
the fifth leg.
You never, ever
Simon
write
Whitlock.
off Simon Whitlock. And that 140
Sixth leg
has
is Mike
put
to
the
throw
game back in his
first.
direction,
Game on.
just as it was tiptoeing the way of his Welsh opponent.
28.
Touch of quality. And that's what we expect to see when Simon Whitlock comes to this
59.
level. And that's why we expect to see Simon Whitlock in Champions Weeks in the very, very near future.
60.
Who knows, it could be this week, but you get the sense if he is going to do it this week, he's going to have to do it the hard way.
There's a few people, wasn't there, who got big attention when they was coming here to the Super
98.
Series. Steve Beaton, who's coming up next week. Simon Whitlock, Mervyn King. Mervyn King's already there. He won a week on debut.
180.
Mike's first 180 of the contest.
81. 100. 101. Mike, you're 133.
So 6 darts here from 133 for Mike Gillet to take us all the way to a last leg decider in this contest.
39.
Score there leaves him on 94. Whitlock looking to capitalise. Looking to punish. And a couple of trebles really does apply that pressure because he's left himself on tops. Gillet has to hit. This may well be the last darts he throws in this match.
54.
He's left himself on tops, but Whitlock
40.
looking at that target, free in hand to win the contest and to get his second win. But he's missed 3 opportunities to cross the line, and so Gillet will have 3 more at tops. He'll have 3 to take us all the way.
Game show the
No mistake on the tops.
Mike Gillet.
And we will head the distance.
7th and final leg, it's Simon to throw first. Game on. $97. 97.
Big last start, big switch there from Gillet. He'll just be thinking, stay pace with Simon, hope that mistakes present themselves.
96.
Well, the last start coming to the rescue once again.
41.
No saviour this time for Gillet. $140. There's the gap. Maximum required here for Mike just to keep pace.
99.
And a failure to do so has given Simon Whitlock all the time and space he wants to eventually wrap this one up.
42.
But that's just opened the door ajar if Gillet can find a couple of trebles here.
$100.
Finds one, leaving himself on
Simon
a finish, but Whitlock's still a
126.
big favourite from this point. Treble leaves the ball. Not to be, and so Gillet's going to win it. He's going to have to do it in style.
58. Mike, you're 164.
Starting downstairs. Another one of those. Oh, that would have left it out the bullseye. Just doing a bit of mathematics, making sure he leaves himself the best opportunity. Should Simon Whitlock not be able to take out the 68 here for the match.
To complete his second win. It's going to be a dart, a double 16 to eventually cross the line and to eventually get his second win of the group. Simon Whitlock gets the better of Mike Gillet in a last leg decider. Wasn't quite vintage from Simon, but he did have the 140 finish in there. Missed a lot of darts at double in that particular match. But for him, he goes top of the table courtesy of legs 1, and this is how he's done so. Average of 85.71. Despite missing those 13 darts at a double, he beats Mike Gillet by 4 legs to 3. Coming up after the break, Raman against Tom Sykes. Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius?
Yes.
Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Labanowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new Modus Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th Modus Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 Modus Super Series champion, Scott Taylor?
One more time, your new Modus Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Nuke, Luke Whitlock! Welcome back to the Modus Super Series. Before the break, Simon Whitlock got the better of Mike Gillet by 4 legs to 3. Game 7 of the night is a meeting between the two players who played in Group A as Brian Raman and Tom Sykes go head to head. For Raman, if he wins this one, he'll be 3 from 3 and he'll have a game against Mark Dudbridge later on tonight to complete the card and to put himself very much on the cusp of qualification through to Saturday evening's finale. For Tom Sykes, it was a slow start, a 4-3 defeat to kick off his evening to Mike Gillet, but boy did he respond. An average of 104.1 in a 4-1 win against Mark Dudbridge. And you get the sense, Matt, that Tom Sykes is one of those players, once he begins to find his groove, there's not really much by way of relinquishing.
Game on!
Well, that's how it felt, didn't it, in that last game. Tom Sykes was brilliant. 104, the overall finishing average, but it was sort of 104 to 110 bracket throughout the entirety of the game. But we know Brian Raman certainly got the capabilities to
81.
feast at that table. And we've seen him be very reactive at times in regards to
52.
needing to match the sort of aggression of the performance of his opponent.
134.
For Brian, if he wins this game, he's in a really good position because he'll finish off
51.
his night against the pointless Mark Dudbridge, who has played well but hasn't picked up results. In fact, both players will...
100.
Finish off their night in the last couple of games. Gillet, Dudbridge, game 8. Sykes will then take on Whitlock, which would be a really intriguing game, particularly if Sykes can win this one.
54.
That could be a game that determines who's going to be top of the table going into Friday's play.
40.
But that score of 40 there has just kept the door ajar here for Bryant. And a couple of trebles has left himself on 64 to take the opening leg. And so Sykes, who had the 116 to kick off his previous match, probably needed to have taken the 146 to take the opening leg of this one.
67. 96. Brian number 1, 64.
Double 16 does
32.
not go, and so
Tommy
Sykes will
McGuire,
return for
50.
50 to get a break in the opening leg. 18 leaves double 16. Double 8, but it's awkward.
Game show on the
Good
first
enough for
leg.
Sykes to get the break
Tom
and to get a
Sykes.
1-0 lead in this match.
Second leg, it's Tom to throw first. Game on. $100. $58. $82. $140. $59. $57.
Just get the sense here, Matt, that neither player are playing badly, but you get the sense they're not quite warmed up yet.
140. $140. Time number
Back to that
120.
140s there to get us into the business end of leg number 2.
$100. Brian McGuire, 100.
But we've been here before, haven't we, Brian Raman? He's taken this finish out twice already tonight.
Game
And that
show
was
on
one of the routes of
second
which he
leg.
took out that finish.
Brian
But there
Raman.
seems to be a bit of a pattern here. The Brian Raman
Third
keeps
leg, it's
leaving
Brian to throw
106.
first. Game on.
And when you make certain switches or you move around the board in a certain way, you tend to find you leave certain types of shots.
43.
I think it's safe to say that the 106 is a bit of a semi-deliberate one of Brian Raman.
140.
Because it's not just now the 3 times he's taken it out tonight, he's actually had a couple of attempts at it as well.
81.
$106 3 times for Brian Raman
100.
on this Thursday night. And importantly, that was a break back, so the game returns to throw as a consequence of it.
134. $91. $39. Tommy McGuire, 170.
This would be the third of the week. It would match the Jared Cole tally.
57.
And Jared would have seen that in front of his very eyes.
58. Tommy McGuire, 113.
But is Brian Raman going to see another break of throw flash before his eyes here? Because Sykes looks at tops of the 113.
93.
Just underneath.
Brian McGuire, 146.
Well, it's a 6 on the end of it, but it's a 146 and it's not going to go.
60. Tommy McGuire,
So
20.
Sykes to get what would be the third consecutive break of throw at the beginning of the contest. Looks
Game
at
shot on
double
the
10
third leg.
and makes
Tom
no
Sykes.
mistake on the double 10. And the Castleford Tiger leads by 2
Fourth
legs
leg,
to
it's
1.
Tom to throw first. Game on. $96. $58. 100. $99. 132.
Well, Sykes here looking to really grapple control of this match.
94.
Man's just gone off the boil a little bit. Sykes has gone up on the ante, average now in excess of 93.5, and he's got 6 darts from 173 to open up a 3-1 lead and leave himself on 110. Raman, you sense needs a couple of trebles here. Gets a couple.
120.
Should have had 3, but it's bounced out the board.
Tommy require 110. $50. Brian require 130.
Another, and that's gaping for another double 5.
Game
And another one to the
shot
mix.
the
That's the 4-ton plus
Brian Raman.
checkout that Brian Raman has found tonight. And this time,
Fifth
it wasn't a
against Brian to
106.
throw first.
The little fish
Game on.
is pinned by the Riddler. And we are back at a level game at 2-2.
These are 2 players that have been here
180.
throughout the whole week so far. They've played 3 times in the Group A campaign, of which Tom Sykes
140.
won all 3 encounters. On Monday,
60.
it was a 4-3 success. Back that up with a 4-0 success on Tuesday, where he averaged 111. It was
131.
100 average on Monday against Brian Raman. He did take it a little bit easier. 93.95 on
140.
Wednesday with a 4-3 success. But it's fair to say there's
100.
something
Brian Raman,
about this pair that they
121.
enjoy battle against each other.
They relish the opportunity.
44. Tommy Rock 130.
Well, can Sykes hoist Raman by his own petard? Bullseye for his 130.
105. Brian Everett
Clips to
177.
25, and that was a ferociously thrown dart.
57.
And because Raman's missed tops, there's a
Requires
break
25.
opportunity here for Tom, and if he can get a break here, he'll have the darts in the next to win it. 8-8. And it goes 14 darts, a really good leg from Tom Sykes. He leads 3-2, gets the break at the perfect time, and now has the darts in his hands to claim a 4-2 win and to inflict a first defeat of the night upon the Belgian.
140.
Well, he's back another 104, average of 95 in this contest, doubling good as well, 3 from 7. Fair to say that Tom Sykes has found his groove now.
60.
And a leg away from making it 4 from 4 against his opponent here, Brian Raman. Those sort of head-to-head records can really make a difference as well when it comes down to the big games on Saturday. That is, should both players be able to navigate a way through, which as things stand in the live in-play table,
140.
they both would be there on Saturday night.
It feels almost unfathomable that
91.
Tom Sykes wouldn't make it through to the Saturday night showdown here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth.
57. Tommy require
He's got 6 darts here for 150 to wrap up a 4-2 win. Another one of them leaves double 18. Not to be. Has a double check because that was very close to the wire.
118.
And we'll return for 32 to complete a 4-2 win.
38.
For Brian Raman,
Tommy
he
require
looks set to have his
32.
first defeat of the night inflicted upon him. But for Tom Sykes, after what has been a slow start to his evening,
No
he's
score.
not found back-to-back
Brian
victories
require
just yet.
164.
Just yet may be the phrase, unless Brian Raman can do what he's been doing all night. That's fine. Big tumblers checkouts. This would be the biggest of them all, and it is. What a find. What a hit from Brian Raman. 3 legs won, all with ton plus
7 from
checkouts.
final leg, it's
And they
Brian
just
to
keep
throw
getting
first.
bigger and bigger.
Game on.
A high five on the back of his 5th ton plus checkout of the night. And we go all the way. 3rd of the match. And if he can win this with a
43.
ton plus checkout, he will have won every single leg that he's won in this game for ton plus checkout. It's never been done here.
100.
Never been done in the Super Series. But it was something that was done in ye oldie livey leaguey by Graham Usher,
128.
who hit 4 ton plus checkouts to win a match in the Champion of Champions. Also had a 9-darter in that game.
91.
He was also 2-0 behind in that game. But he found a way to do it with style.
74. $140.
Well, look what Tom Sykes has left. Of course it's the 170.
140. Tell me about 170.
He's not going to get it. And so Raman here has got a chance to create a
60.
slice of
Require
Super Series history.
160.
Nobody has gone through all 4 winning legs with ton plus checkouts. But if he finds double 18, he would have
98.
done so.
Tell me about 110.
And Sykes isn't going to find the
50.
110. And so Raman,
18.
the conventional 2 9s to claim a 3rd consecutive win. And a 3rd win it is.
Game,
A hat-trick of successes
Brian
for
Raman.
Brian Raman. He beats Tom Sykes by 4 legs to 3, aided and abetted by 3 ton plus checkouts in that game. And he looks very much in the mood and the groove. He wins in a last leg decider. This is how he's done so. Tom Sykes will feel like another defeat where he's missed an opportunity. But sometimes you just have to surrender to the brilliance of your opponent. And Brian Raman was that. Next up, Mike Gillet up against Mark Dudbridge.
$54. Charlie McGuire, 164. $44. $32. Charlie require 120.
Well, 120. He's got a fair, at least 2 handfuls at this. Just needs to stay
60.
there. That's a good shot. Halves his score. Leaves himself on a 2-darter.
$26. Charlie
Time on his
require
side
60.
to become back-to-back singles champion.
$40.
Definitely a couple of nerves in those last 2 darts. But he'll be coming back.
It's the moment he's been in before this situation. Standing at the back of the
81.
stage,
Charlie
approaching the
require
hockey with a
20.
chance to win the title.
He did this to win the first title, if you remember.
11.
I think he's gone.
Georgia
I think
require
he's gone to
118.
bust it, maybe. The first title he won, he wanted 20. He went 6-7-7 to win it. He had a chance to replicate it again.
Yeah, I get the feeling that was for a bust, and
39.
on that situation there, George
require
Gay wasn't even
9.
able to take it out going to the 18s on that switch.
Yeah, I think he just panicked a bit, but he's done well to get that big one.
Sometimes can be the hardest part.
Georgia requires
This is it.
79.
It's got to be 19s. It's got to be 19s for this shot. Big 20 and a double. He's got the first one. He's going to get a match dart here.
$59. Charlie
Threw the entire
require
body into that
8.
one. Just didn't want to let go of the dart.
No score.
He's given George a chance.
George require 20.
I think George has been quite good on double 10 today.
So many opportunities for Charlie Murphy.
Go
Couldn't get the job
Got
done.
in the match! And the Red Dragon
George
Modus
Skate.
Super Series Influencers Champion, George Skate!
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where before the break, 3 ton plus finishes helped Brian Raman to a third victory of the night, getting the better of Tom Sykes by 4 legs to 3. So for Tom Sykes, just 2 points so far to his evening campaign. Might get it, he's on 2, and he is ending his evening's worth of action with a meeting against Mark Dudbridge, the only player yet to pick up a win on this Thursday so far. Not that performances have slacked, but maybe he'll be the first to admit that sometimes, A, he was caught in the tailwind of Tom Sykes being excellent, and B, he missed a few too many doubles in his contest against Simon Whitlock. So this game 8 of the evening, Dudbridge will play 2 of the last 3.
Game on.
But for Mike Gillet, this is it. This is his final game of the night. And he says to be competitive tomorrow. 4 points is perhaps a necessity for him.
I still feel there's something to get from this evening for Mark Dudbridge. He hasn't got any points on the board as of yet. But the performances suggest that
41.
he's not going to go through the card without a victory today.
It's just one of them groups where he's probably had to put his hand up a little bit and say, I've played okay, but the
99.
opposition around me are just quality operators that have just had a little bit too much for me at this present moment in time.
45.
Of course, this is the beginning of a very busy weekend of darts. Outside of here, the European Tour continues with the International Darts Open in Riesa. Going Price looking for title number 5 in that particular competition. Michael Van Gerwen is withdrawn. So Richard Veenstra gets the most profitable of uplifts, because not just as he qualified for the tournament, but because the pullout was after the tournament draw was made. He gets a bye through to Saturday. Why be good, Matt, when you can be a little bit lucky?
100.
It's a story we've been talking about quite a bit today, isn't it? We spoke about this afternoon. David Davies being
140.
someone who sort of
Mark, you're 124.
felt a bit fortunate to get his opportunity, as did Tom Sykes, and we've talked about Adam Lipscomb with the Q School story. But bullseye here for Mark Dudbridge to get his own story.
99. Mike, you require 42.
Who knows, Richard Veenstra could go on and have the run of his life. Go and win a Euro Tour.
Well, we've seen it before.
We've
seen that before, haven't we, from
Mike Gillet.
Mike Gillet on more than one occasion.
Second leg, it's
leads,
Mark
and
to
for
throw
Mark
first.
Dudbridge,
Game on.
his night goes from bad to worse. Does Going Price go into that tournament as favourite in your eyes,
30.
with Luke Littler obviously missing this weekend?
I think you've always got to look at Luke Humphries, haven't you, in that situation?
100.
I suppose as well, now Stephen Bunting's got on the winning horse in terms of the Premier League. You never know what that confidence could potentially do for him.
100. 140.
Super Series champion Darius Labanauskas in action.
Yeah, taking on your good pal, Ryan Searle. Now, Darius was actually meant to be here this week. But because he selfishly
180.
qualified for a Euro Tour, that's part of the reason why Simon Whitlock got given the second opportunity to play.
60.
Selfish thing to do that, Matt, innit? Qualify for one of them Euro Tour thingies.
$140.
Well, it has been extra opportunities for players this week, hasn't it? Players getting call-ups, getting opportunities this week. Chances to
45.
get themselves that
Multiple
golden
68.
ticket. Not many places left now on Champions Week.
Well, that's a boosty bonus for Dudbridge. It's 888.
52. Mike,
We'll hope to come back for 3 more, providing Mike Gillet cannot find something out the ordinary, and he's not going to get the 156 on this particular occasion. So
100.
Dudbridge will return for 888
16.
to level this match up at 1-1. Well, they have both hogged the wire.
No score.
Cannot find a way through, so Gillet's going to get a break chance here. A great chance to double his advantage in the match. Double top for Gillet. Just the
Game shot
fillet.
second leg.
And he leads
Mike
2-0.
Gillet. Third leg, it's
Lots
Mike
of
to
apologies
throw
this
first.
evening, hasn't
Game
there, from Mike Gillett?
I just think that's the generous man he is. I think you'll be hard-pressed to find a nicer man in darts. Gillet is the best a man can get. And I'm sure Tom Grennan will be
58.
using that as a backup album. Do you have any idea who Tom Grennan is, Matt?
62.
Honest answer, or
Well, preferably.
no?
Tom Grennan was the guy who sung the song about Gillette.
47.
He also has 4 UK number 1s. He was also one of his songs was actually
100.
the title track to Sky Sports Super Sunday for 2 seasons between 2016 and 2018.
I would hate to spend a day in your head.
60.
Well, put it this way. If Celeste Never Stop This Flame spends another year as Sky's Premier League
99.
anthem, it will mean that it's the longest time, I believe, that would have been an anthem. I think Maloko's Time Is Now has got the record for that.
How do you know this stuff? Full disclosure, he's not sat
80.
Googling anything here.
Mike, you require 140.
Another. Double 10.
130.
Even Ronan Keating had a song for a season on that particular programme.
$100. Mike, you
So
require
to put a smile on Mike Gillett's face.
10.
Well, a rather comical moment there. But Mike Gillet getting down to the serious business. But the missed darts at a
6.
double are beginning to rack
Mike, you
up a little
require
bit here.
156.
And he could be punished to the hilt. But Dudbridge cannot find that second jump. And the way dart 1 went in, that looked absolutely
82.
perfect
Mike,
for
you
him to have
require
found another,
40.
but not to be on this occasion. And so Gillet will head down for double 2 to open up a 3-0
Game
lead
shot on the
and
third
get
leg.
said 3-0
Mike
lead.
Gillet.
Cruise control.
Fourth leg, it's Mark to throw first. Game on. $40.
I actually saw Tom Grennan perform at
43.
Silverstone the other. It's actually quite good in concert. So if you fancy going to a gig over the summer, I'd fancy maybe going to see Tom Grennan.
$59. $140. $58. $96. $100.
It's all been a little bit comfortable, this, for Mike. Something he'll be probably quite grateful of.
59.
I think the lingering worry as well for Mark Dudbridge is he's got to play the final game of the night, hasn't he, as well?
But he's done it again. Look at that. Mike, once again, switching and leaving himself
60.
a bogey number.
More bogeys than Dick and Dom's bungalow.
$84.
Well, we know he's a teacher. I just hope he's not on supply for maths lessons tomorrow.
Well, this 79 isn't as simple as an equation as perhaps he thought it was going to be, because Dudbridge has left himself on 44 if this does not go. But this is a match start for clean sweep of Mark Dudbridge, and it is found tremendously. And Mike Gillet is going to end his night with 4 points to his name. A night of two halves for the Welshman, and he's very much in contention when it comes to tomorrow's action. For Mark Dudbridge, he's got one more opportunity to get that first win of the night, but that comes up against Brian Raman, who hasn't lost so far tonight. At the turn of the tape, Gillet 84.68, 4 from 7 on the doubles. We're going to take a break, and when we return, maybe the headline game of the night as Tom Sykes takes on Simon Whitlock. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series. Before the break, Mike Gillet got the better of Mark Dudbridge by 4-0. Our penultimate game of the night is a meeting between Tom Sykes and Simon Whitlock. If Simon can win this, he'll move on to 6 points, level with Brian Raman's total, ahead of his contest with Mark Dudbridge at the end of the evening. Meanwhile, for Tom Sykes, this has been a night so far which hasn't gone to plan. 3 games played and just the 1 win. It was a good performance against Mark Dudbridge, average 104.1. 4 out of 7 on the doubles, had the 116 checkout. But he hasn't been able to replicate it elsewhere in this session up to press.
First. Game on.
For Simon, I think it's been a case of being solid enough, if not being spectacular enough.
93.
I can tell you now, if you're Tom Sykes, you've only got a win on the board. The last thing you want is to be playing your last game against Simon Whitlock. Because whether Simon Whitlock's hitting or missing, you've always got that fear factor that his A game is just around the corner.
97.
And for Simon, he knows if he can put Tom Sykes away here, he puts himself in a good position. But he also puts Tom Sykes in a lot of peril when it comes to tomorrow's action.
57. $60. 134. 100.
Decent ton that for Simon, but Sykes here looking at 120 to take out the opening leg. Finds a way through to the treble, but he cannot find a way through tops.
124.
So Whitlock here looking at 124 to get the opening leg break. Not to be, and so Sykes will come back 3 in his hand at double 10 to take a 1-0 lead.
72. Tommy required 20.
Fives.
10.
Clips the wire, bends the wire.
Simon required 52.
And so Whitlock here has got a break opportunity if he can find this 52. Double 16. Now double 8.
Game shot on the
For
first
the break,
there.
1-0 Whitlock.
Simon Whitlock.
Well, I think Tom Sykes would
Second
probably
against
tell
Simon
you if
to
you was
throw
to ask,
first.
why do you think
Game
you've had the evening you have, is say missed doubles. The game he won 4 from 7, no problems there, but the games of which he's lost 3 from 16 on the outer ring when he went down 4-3 to Mike Gillet. And 3 from 10 when he lost to Brian Raman.
44.
And that will start to manifest itself in the scoring department as well when you start to push, when you start to feel you need to find a bit more, just to give yourself a couple of extra
59.
darts, because he's already had 4 darts in this game. The missed doubles are just starting to add up for Tom Sykes, and he's becoming visibly aware of that
60.
at times. $92.
So Whitlock leaves himself on the big fish to open up a 2-0 lead in this match.
100.
And he's got plenty
Simon
of time on his side.
170.
Looks like Tom Sykes has just ran out of a little bit of steam as the evening's drawn to a close. And Simon Whitlock just staying at the same level. Pretty much he's been at all night. Late 80s, early
58.
90s average. And so far, it's too much. Sykes missed 4 darts at a double to win leg 1. And he's been nowhere near the pace in leg 2.
137. Simon required 112.
And so Whitlock here, looking at the 112 to double his advantage. He's got a great guide there, unable to utilise it. And so Sykes will be back
72.
for the
Tommy required
160 to level up.
160.
Well, this would be typically Tom Sykes. He has shown nothing in this leg
140.
and almost took out the 160.
Simon require 40. Game shot on the second leg.
And Whitlock finding
Simon
the tops,
Whitlock.
opens up a 2-0 lead.
Third leg, it's Tom to throw first. Game on.
Well, on your live in-play table, this is going to put Simon Whitlock to the
93.
top of the pile. Would, if he could complete the job here, have him on 6 points alongside Brian Raman.
140.
4 points clear of the cut-off positions. Does make you think, doesn't it? If this is the result here, if Simon Whitlock does get the result, that the prediction of 6 points looks very good.
I mean, it'd be to within a couple of wins on Friday night, a qualification through to Saturday's finale. Has got a bit of retribution with Saturday night here at the Super Series. Lost out in the semi-finals to Jedson Walker in week
77.
2. Another Champions Week debutant alongside the likes of Alex Small, Sam Spivey, a.k.a. Spivey Man. Shane McGurk making his debut at Champions Week despite being the reigning WDF World Champion. Scott Coward had a very good start to the year. His first Champions Week. Devon Peterson first Champions Week. Mervyn King first Champions Week.
97.
A lot of big name players making their debut with the big week this time around. And Simon Whitlock will be hoping to add his name to that particular mix.
56. Tommy Rock 94.
So Sykes here 94 to bring it back to 2-1.
54.
Return for
Simon
tops
Rock
unless
152.
Whitlock can find the 1-5-2. And if he does, it will give him the double breaker throw in this game. Okay. Now that was a little bit stylish, side.
96. Tommy Rock 40. Game shot on the third leg. Tom Sykes.
Well, there may have been style from Whitlock, but there was substance there from Tom Sykes, and we are
Four-legged
back to
Simon
2-1.
First. Game on. $96. $139.
He has these little spells, Tom Sykes, at this sort of time in a game, when we're a couple of legs in.
93.
Just sort of sticks the teeth into the action.
Straight into the treble. And that's a first max of the contest. And maybe after a sluggish start, Tom Sykes is beginning to really get into it. And has that just awoken the wizard?
Well, in around about a minute's time here, Tom Sykes could really turn this one around, because
65.
just a couple of visits to the board, he may be changing his fortunes. However, Whitlock, resilient, resistant to the challenge. Does what he can, leaves a double after 12.
117.
Or is it going to be a stroke of quality, a stroke of genius from Tom Sykes?
It's double top for the 117.
Game shot on the fourth
Game
leg.
well and truly
Tom
turned.
Sykes.
Tom Sykes was 2-0 down and he was really struggling. That
Fifth leg, it's
117
Tom
and
to
that
throw
12
first.
data
Game
brings us back to an equal kilter. And it has been that kind of night where games have won close and games have won
131.
tight. But this is really important for Tom.
39.
2 points means he's got a big task ahead of him on Friday.
60. $40. $60. 126. $65. 134.
So Sykes 6 darts on 185 to move himself to within a leg. And that 140 most certainly helps. And he's doing a very good job here of turning the screw. He was struggling at 2-0 down. He's brought his average up now to just under the 96 mark.
65. Tommy required 45.
And this is what quality operators like Tom Sykes do. When they find themselves in a little bit of a rut, they find a way. And he's found a way in front in this contest. From 2-0 behind, Tom Sykes leads 3-2. And suddenly, Simon Whitlock is throwing to stay in the contest when he looked in control for so long.
57.
He was down to a double, wasn't he, to take a 3-1 lead after 12 darts. It was that big 117 checkout from Tom Sykes that
97.
Sort of put his nose in front, and he's not looked back since.
$58. $57. $97. 100.
Well, this leg pretty much as you were. Sykes a 40-point lead, but you still feel Whitlock with the dart of a decent turn here. Could have control of this leg, needs to find a treble just to keep himself competitive. Doesn't find it, and so now the ball very much is in the court of Tom Sykes. 2-4-7 to win the match.
82.
Doesn't leave a checkout though.
Poorly timed this stray. Whitlock leads himself on 129. How handy can Sykes leave it from this point?
42. Simon Everquire 129.
To take us all the way. 129 isn't going to go, and so Sykes has only had the 117 in this contest. Is he going to round off the comeback with another tub plus checkout? Treble 18 would have left the ball. Whitlock's going to come back for 36.
55. Simon required 36.
To guess what? Take us all the way for the 5th time in 9 matches tonight.
Game shot on the 6th
Add
leg.
another last leg
Simon
decider
Whitlock.
to your Thursday night bingo card. 5 in 9.
Final leg, it's
That's how tight this group
Game
is.
on.
But the margins in this leg could not be tighter, could not be further. Whitlock wins this leg, he's on 6. Sykes is on 2. If Sykes can win this leg, they both go in overnight on 4.
60.
I think this will pretty much decide the points as well for the qualification. I think if Simon Whitlock wins this, we may be looking at 6.
100.
If Tom Sykes wins it, it may be an 8-point cut-off.
Agreed.
Well,
that's timely, and that keeps him in the leg. And Sykes better be careful here because Simon Whitlock
91.
is breathing down his neck. Picks off a triple last dart to leave himself on the fish. Whitlock himself leaving himself on 170. So it's a race to the line from 170 points. Sykes unable to take out the big fish. Can Simon Whitlock find it and take the points from the grasp of the Castleford Tiger? Sykes from here now should get a match dart.
58. So we require 81.
81 points away from a 4-3 win. He's going to get 2 in his hand at double 12. Now double 6. Inside.
75.
It was one of these sort of combinations
Simon,
that turned the
require
game in the favour of
112.
Tom Sykes. Could be the same sort of equation here that ends the game in favour of Simon Whitlock. Just the one treble, which is found.
And so Simon Whitlock will get a match dart at double 16. He steps back to compose himself. The biggest dart of his night is potentially the last dart of his night. And he cannot bury the double 16 as close to the wire it was.
Require 6.
And so Sykes looking at the trapdoor to open up opportunities for him. Oh, how does he find a way through that? He does so brilliantly.
The match, Tom Sykes.
And come the end of play, you can't separate these two. They were the two bookmakers' favourites before a dart was thrown this evening. And after night one's play, Tom Sykes and Simon Whitlock will both end with 4 points to their name. For Tom Sykes, that was a much-needed win to finish off his evening. He missed 10 darts at a double, but when it counted, he found the match-winning one. Whitlock missing one on the back of the 112 to win it. Our final game of the night, Mark Dudbridge up against Brian Raman, looking to complete the card. Are you ready to lift that trophy, Darius?
Yes.
Let's do it then. Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series 9 champion is Lucky D, Darius Labanowski!
Well, what a wonderful night of darts we have seen, and we are ready. Our champion is ready, and it's trophy time. So receive the trophy. £25,000. The new Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And one more time, the 8th Modus Super Series champion, the Terminator, Marvin Van Velzen. And the new Modus Super Series champion is Andreas Dirty Harrison. And one more time, the 7th Modus Super Series champion. Give it up for Andreas Dirty Harrison.
The moment we've all been waiting for. Would you please show your appreciation for your Series 6 Modus Super Series champion, Scott Taylor?
One more time, your new Modus Super Series champion. He is Chucky. He is Jim McEwen.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Modus Super Series champion, retaining his title, the Nuke, Luke Lidlow! Welcome back to the live lounge here in Portsmouth for the final game of the evening here at the Modus Super Series, live on the dedicated Pluto TV channel. 24/7 darts here on Pluto TV, and for us, we are heading into hour 14 that we have been broadcasting live to you. Our final game is between Brian Raman and Mark Dudbridge, and these two, well, they've had completely contrasting nights so far. Brian Raman has won each of his opening 3 fixtures, looking to complete the card up against Mark Dudbridge, who has lost his opening 3, looking to get some points on the board as the evening draws to a close. His first couple of games, he played okay, missed some darts at a double, was outplayed in one, but there was perhaps some signs that a little bit of tiredness was beginning to kick in his contest against Mike Gillet, which he lost 4-0. But for Brian Raman, his previous game saw him hit 3 ton-plus checkouts, including the 164. He also had finishes of 106 and 130. In fact, he's hit a 106 checkout 3 times over the course of the evening session. And in terms of consistency, has been by far the best player of the night, Matt.
I think that's the key word there, consistency. Because we've seen some great moments. Tom Sykes, the sort of flagship of that 104 average, and then sort of struggling in other games. Simon Whitlock picking up a couple, Mike Gillet picking up a couple, but yep, consistency's won the day, and you know that's what we always say. It's going to get you through here at the Super Series. Certainly in these group stages, consistency is the key. 41. Saturday nights where you need to find that more explosive performance.
Just finding a way through no matter what. For Mark Dudbridge, he knows this is as simple as win or potentially win or bust really for him.
138.
This is this one. He'll probably feel like his chances are done with a night's worth of play to go.
Well, he would be 4 points away, wouldn't he, in regards to qualification, plus quite a hefty negative legs difference as well, which would take him 3 games to turn that around, and that's provided all results go his way.
167.
Yeah, Dudbridge here looking at 167 to take out the opening leg of this encounter. Not to be. Raman has already taken out the 130 once tonight. Is he going to do so twice here?
131.
He may have to take it out twice because Dudbridge has left himself on double 18 in case. Treble 20 doesn't go, and so Dudbridge is going to get 3 darts in his hand to take the opening leg. Double 9.
27.
Does not go, and so Raman will return 3 more in his hand at double 18. He's going to split 6 double 6. But that first dart would have been awkward for the second.
Mark, you're required 9.
And so Dudbridge returns, looking at double 4. Gets the double 4 into the bottom corner. Just sneaked in, Mark. But it doesn't matter how. Dudbridge has made his mark.
Second against Brian to throw first. Game on. 15.
Well, opportunity here for Dudbridge.
134.
We're saying all night, Mark Dudbridge hasn't been far off the pace. It's just not quite gone his
94.
way. It's running into the wrong moments at the wrong times, but right now this one seems to be opening up a little bit for him.
Well, Brian Raman has perhaps hit just a little bit of a brick wall. Now, he did play the first game of the evening, so he has had to bookend his night. Or he's been the bookender to the night, shall I say.
99.
And that's not an easy thing to do when you're having to elongate the amount of time that you play your matches in.
60.
I can tell you now, after playing in this format on so many occasions, that no one likes that job of being first and last.
57.
I think the ideal position is probably that of Mike Gillet tonight. Play second game, And then
57.
you're finishing off in game number 8. So it's sort of game on, game off almost all the way through.
Because perhaps the worst thing for the players is the break, the long break.
40.
And it's something that a lot of debutants say that they have to adjust to. And sometimes you can actually get caught out with how long or how short, depending on how the games go, that break's going to be.
95.
I suppose it is one of those things that it's just naturally found with experience.
$64. Mark your record 96.
So Dudbridge 96 for a 2-0 lead. Double 18.
60.
Clip the wire,
Rhino
bend the
record
wire.
132.
So a man here looking at 132. He's looking for another one of them. Oh no! Oh yes!
The second
How about
leg.
that?
Brian Raman.
A showstopper from the showman. Bull double 16 bull.
Delegates
And of
marked to
all
throw
the brilliance
first.
and all the maverickness
Game
that he's
on.
shown this week, that is the biggest and boldest play of them all.
57.
Playing with confidence, playing with freedom, and just oozing class
60.
right now was Brian Raman.
And even Mark Dudbridge could crack a smile after that.
$45. $100.
Incredibly, Matt, that's his 6th ton-plus checkout of the night. There's a lot of times in Group B, we don't even get 6 of the 5 players, let alone from 1.
And we're not talking like 100, 101.
76.
There's been some bangers.
130, 164, 132. Now, the record I can remember for most ton-plus checkouts in a Group B campaign is Scott Walters, who had 8 of them.
100.
Well, Raman's on 6 and he's not even halfway through his campaign yet.
95.
Now, I know Brian Raman's maverick, but there's only one way that even he can go for the 170.
140. Brian
He may have to take it out because
107.
Dudbridge has left himself on 101.
89. Mark your record 101. $77. Brian your record 81.
78 left. Conventionally, this would be a treble 18 double 12, but this is Brian Raman we're talking about.
$41. Mark your record 24.
That was quite boring, all things considered. 2 12s for Dudbridge. Now double 6.
Game shot on the
In it
third
goes.
leg. Mark Dudbridge.
Now, the Mark Dudbridge might be the player nicknamed Flash, but he's just doing the
Whoever gets
conventional
Brian to
job
throw
here.
first. Game on.
It looks like he's enjoying it as well. I think that's one thing we can say about Mark Dudbridge tonight. He's really enjoyed the battle.
140.
Is that partly because as well he's at that stage of his career? We kind of mentioned it earlier where this is just all bonuses for him. Anytime he plays on the stage, anytime he plays in front of the cameras, this is more than what he probably would have ever expected.
Well, he probably didn't expect to be in this sort of position ever
81.
again, where he gets opportunities to play in this sort of environment. Yeah, just relishing it, enjoying it.
The word embrace springs to mind.
100.
But he'll want to be in contention tomorrow, and to do that, you feel he has to win here.
140.
But Brian Raman has been defiant.
You could have fitted them into a
180,
very
one of
famous polo
140.
mint.
$60. Mark, you require 105.
105 for Dudbridge for a 3-1 lead. You might not hear much analysis from Matthew Edgar because he's had to put himself
73.
into a
Brian, you
corner.
require 80.
Double 10. Doesn't go, and so
70.
Dudbridge has a
Mark,
break
you require
opportunity here.
32.
Double 16 for a 3-1 lead, and then he'd have the darts of the match. Double 8.
Game show on the fourth.
Well, there's the break, and there's a 3-1
Mark
lead.
Dudbridge.
Although technically I was correct in what I said, because the polo mint is very famous.
Fifth leg, it's Mark to throw first. Game on. $58. $81.
Well, Dudbridge a leg away here from
81.
springing what would be a real surprise. Before this game got underway, Brian Raman would have gone off a big favourite to have gone on and won it. But I just wonder whether the effects of playing that full evening have just
57.
come back to bite him a little bit. Whilst for Mark Dudbridge, of course, he had the shorter session, didn't he? Began in game 3, finishing in game 10.
Well, the warning signs have been there all along that Mark Dudbridge could burn some fingers this evening. If anyone just came off their level when they're taking on Mark Dudbridge, he was there ready to strike.
98.
But still work to be done here. Brian Raman's had that secret weapon in the arsenal, hasn't he?
140.
This evening, those big finishes, those combinations. And he's on another mini combination here, but it may need to go. Dudbridge are leaving this handy.
171.
Another perfect visit, leaves himself on double 18. Now on ever, Brian. He's gone double 16 for the bull, and he would have got the bull if he found the double.
Market required 36.
But that could be curtains for his night. If Dudbridge can find double 18, in which he can. And Mark Dudbridge has deserved that win. He's played some decent stuff tonight, and eventually he gets that success against the previously unbeaten Brian Raman. And so nobody's going to be perfect tonight, but what we also know is when it comes to tomorrow, somebody will be able to get through on 10 points, and it's so open for interpretation. 4 points separate top from bottom, 2 points separate second from bottom. It's going to be a battle royale for the finishing line on Friday. Dudbridge 4, Raman 1 in the final game of the night. Reaction and analysis to come after this short break.
$54. Charlie require 164. $44. $32. Charlie require 120.
Well, 120. He's got a fair, at least 2 handfuls at this. Just needs to stay
60.
there. That's a good shot. Halves his score. Leaves himself on a 2-darter.
$26. Charlie
Time on his
require
side
60.
to become back-to-back singles champion.
$40.
Definitely a couple of nerves in those last 2 darts. But he'll be coming back.
moment he's been in before this situation. Standing at the back of the stage, approaching the hockey with a chance to win the title.
He did this to win the first title, if you remember.
11.
I think he's gone.
Georgia
I think
require
he's gone to
118.
bust it, maybe. The first title he wanted 20. He went 6-7-7 to win it. He had a chance to replicate it again.
Yeah, I get the feeling that was for a bust. And
39.
on that situation there, George Gate wasn't even able to take it out going to the 18s on that switch.
Yeah, I think he just panicked a bit, but he's done well to get that big one.
Sometimes can be the hardest part.
Georgia requires
This is it.
79.
It's got to be 19s. It's got to be 19s for this shot. Big 20 and a double. He's got the first one. He's going to get a match dart here.
$59. Charlie,
Threw
you
the entire
require
body into that
8.
one. Just didn't want to let go of the dart.
No score.
He's given George a chance.
Georgia require 20.
I think George has been quite good on double 10 today.
So many opportunities for Charlie Murphy.
Go
Couldn't get the
gets
job
it.
done.
Got in the match! And the Red Dragon
George
Modus
Skate.
Super Series Influencers Champion, George Skate!
Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where we've completed the action on this Thursday evening. Of the 10 matches that we've seen, 8 of them have gone with the darts, including each of the last 6 of those particular matches. Sorry, 7 of those particular matches. Brian Raman is top of the table at the end of night 1. 6 points to his name, but it's very much open for interpretation below that. 3 players on 4, and then Mark Dudbridge at the bottom of it on 2 points. We've been watching all of the action in the company of Matthew Edgar, and he's going to be assessing everything that has happened tonight. And look, Brian Raman, top of the table, 6 points to his name, and okay, shaky start, got over the line against Simon Whitlock, but the 2 performances in the middle of the night were very, very rousing, weren't they?
He's had some quality tonight, hasn't he, Brian Raman? The finishing's been exceptional. You mentioned the potential there for a record in regards to the most tumpless finishes we've seen before. He's 2 away from drawing with that. And when we look at what's still to go, he's got another 4 fixtures. I think he's going to go break that, because not only is he taking these out, but he's quite flashy, he's quite flary, he's quite an exciting player to watch when it comes to this part of a game. We don't know what way he's going to go with these finishes, and he's been hitting them. And that's only going to give him confidence. That's only going to give him belief going into tomorrow's play.
What on earth was that? We're seeing some of the ton plus finishes. What on earth was the 132 about? The bull double 16 bull?
I think what it was the first dart sort of stood up a little bit and blocked the bed, and it was like, right, well, rather than move, I'm going to stay in the same position I am, hit the double 16, and then go back to the bullseye again. And it was probably one of the most enjoyable 132. I mean, 132 is a great finish to watch anyway, isn't it? But that one certainly was one of the more enjoyable ones, and he nearly had a record on the tumpless finishes himself. Had he have taken that 116 out, he would have won all 4 legs with a tumpless checkout. It wouldn't surprise me if he's on for that again tomorrow.
6 points his name, top of the table overnight, but that game against Mark Dudbridge, really feel like that was an opportunity missed?
Possibly. He seemed a bit tired, a bit fatigued by that end game. It is late at night now here in the UK, and I just think maybe that's kicked in a little bit. He's had a long week already. I think he'll probably be happy with 6 points. And sometimes when you've achieved what you think you will, you set out, you go, right, if I can get 6 points tonight, I'll be happy. And then you get the 6 and you've still got another game to go, and the adrenaline's gone by then. So I just think we just saw a little drop off there. Yes, in hindsight, he'll look back and maybe be frustrated with that, but I think he'll be really happy with 6.
This is how the table looks then. So Brian Raman top of the table on 6 points, but Sykes, Whitlock and Gillet, as you can see there, with 4 points to their name respectively overnight. Also, every single player on +2 in terms of legs difference. So very, very tight in that portion of the table. Let's assess some of those players' nights then. We'll begin with Tom Sykes in second position in the league table. Did it feel like a case of feast or famine for him tonight? The good stuff was really good, but there was a couple of games that were just off the mark.
It felt like there was more to come. And I feel like that's where Tom Sykes is now, and that's the ultimate compliment that you can pay someone in the fact he sat second in the table. You feel there's a lot more in the tank. He sort of will feel he's thrown a couple away tonight. Missed doubles has probably been the thing that's cost him the most, but one thing he hasn't thrown away is his opportunity to get through this group. It doesn't really matter too much. Yes, financially it's a benefit to finish higher in the table, but the majority, or the most important thing, should I say, is to finish in the top 3. Get yourself through to Saturday, because Tom Sykes doesn't look at a week like this in regards to can I win the week, can I win the groups. He's looking beyond that, and he's looking at Champions Week, but he's got to navigate his way through this group first, and then he's got to navigate a Saturday night. So there's lots of challenges ahead for Tom, and I think the concern for him will be the doubles today, but the flip side of that is it's so easy to put that right.
Simon Whitlock also on 4 points. How would you assess the way that he's played this evening? Because there was actually signs that there were some really good bits in there.
Yeah, and I think maybe what we've got to realise now is this is Simon Whitlock. You know, Simon Whitlock, when we're assessing him, we're not assessing the player that won the European Championships back in 2012, that reached the final of the World Championship on 2 separate occasions. You know, it's 2025 now, aging, you know, there's a lot of things that are going on in terms of things we've got to add in, extra factors to assess. But one thing that is for sure is there's still plenty of ability in there with Simon Whitlock, and we're seeing that at times. And that will be what frustrates Simon, because he will see that he is capable of doing so. He will see that he's doing it, and he'll be asking himself, well, why can't I do this on a regular basis like I did before? And I think frustrating is the only way you can describe that for a player.
So do you think playing the 2-day groups might actually be a bit more of a benefit for him going forward?
Oh, 100%. And, you know, I think we'll see tomorrow him doing enough to get himself through to Saturday. And when Saturday comes round, he'll be excited for it. It's hard to play a full week here. We know a lot of players don't want to play a full week here because the demands, it's quite tiring. It's a lot of darts, it's a lot of time on your feet, it's a lot of reps on the board, because it's not just what you see on the stage, it's the practice in between games, it's the 2 hours beforehand to get yourself ready. So yeah, absolutely, I think a shorter week now will really suit Simon.
4 points for Mike Gillet overnight. Would he be happy with what he's put in?
Of course, yeah. He's in the running. I mean, Mike's probably one of the most experienced players in this sort of environment, especially in a Group B. We know with his day job, working as a teacher, he's not going to really be able to play Group A's or Group C's. If he's going to be here at the Super Series, it's going to be in a Group B because of demands of his personal life. Now, with that, I'm trying to think, maybe Lee Cox. I think other than that, I can't think of someone who's probably got the experience levels of Mike Gillet. And he'll look at that table overnight and he'll assess that quite well, and he'll know he's in the mix. And that's all you want. You want to come into day 2, feel you've got a chance. Don't feel like you're chasing. Don't feel like you need results elsewhere. Feel like it's in your hands. And it is. It's well and truly in his hands.
In terms of Mark Dudbridge, I think he would have been hard done by one if he didn't get a win tonight, because he played some decent stuff, but maybe the opposition just had a little bit too much in the first 3 games.
I think Mark Dudbridge has always shown flashes over the day, and I said early on I don't think he's going to go through the card where he doesn't pick up a win today. I knew it was coming from somewhere, it's just where. And then as the wins or the results are starting to go against him, it comes to the last game, Brian Raman, top v bottom, undefeated versus a player who's lost all his games, and you think, well, maybe that assessment was wrong. Maybe Dudbridge is going to go through the card without a victory, and he gets the win at the end, and that keeps him in the mix, keeps him hopeful, keeps him in with a chance tomorrow. We have seen players lose all the games on day 1, come back on day 2 and get themselves through. However, Mark Dudbridge now a much stronger possibility of getting into those top 3 places.
After day 1 in Group B, what would be your overall assessment of the state of play as far as the group's concerned?
Wide open. Wide open. I think we was under the impression Tom Sykes and Simon Whitlock, as the odds compiler suggested, would probably be the top 2 and everyone else would be battling it out. Well, that they're well and truly in the mixer with everybody right now. It's a tightly congested group. I think we're going to see it just bunch up tomorrow. This is a group that's not going to be decided early. This is a group that's going to go down to the last couple of fixtures.
So it may be a case of the early hours deciding things here on Pluto TV. That's the second group of the day. Earlier on this afternoon, we saw Group C get underway. David Davis won all 5 of his matches. Going into day 2 of that group, what would be, first of all, your assessment of David's day? And B, what do you think the rest of the field are going to have to do to try and get themselves in that second spot?
I think you've summed it up perfectly there in regards to having to get themselves into the second spot, because I think that's what they're playing for. David Davies was very, very good today. He got 10 points on the board. Normally 14 points is enough to get yourself confirmed through. We've got a couple of players in that group who today was playing below the standard, and David Davies will be aware of that. He'll probably think, I'll get those 2 players beat, and then it doesn't really matter what happens in the other ones. They're bonus because I'll be through. And if that is the case, everyone's going to be hoping David Davies goes and does the card, bar the game that they're playing, because he's going to become a bit of a friend and a sort of an ally to those people, because if he can beat the rest of the field, it'll open up that second spot.
Is it fair to say that Tommy Morris is the most likely contender other than David at the top?
Well, he was the favourite before a dart was thrown. And I would say it was between himself and Carl Wilkinson, who was potentially going to rival for that spot. However, Carl Wilkinson had a horrid day and has probably got himself completely out of contention, barring a bit of a miracle. So, yes, I would say Tommy Morris at this point in time is probably the most likely to go through with David Davies.
Anybody else that could potentially upset that apple cart?
In individual games, potentially. However, I think with our Group C, we're quite divisive in regards to the levels is quite drastic between the bunches of players, between the top half and the bottom half. So maybe in an individual game, someone could cause an upset, which then could decide which one of the other players gets through. But I think we're looking at sort of the favourites in that one. I don't see too many surprises.
Should be good fun. Enjoyed your company tonight, Matt. Thank you as ever. Plenty coming up across Pluto TV on our dedicated 24/7 channel. Now, for Luke Littler, it was an early exit tonight, wasn't it, in the Premier League? But you'll get to see some of his highlights here at the Super Series as he burst onto the scene here at the Live Lounge Porter, picking up 2 titles here at the Super Series. The best of him coming up in a few moments' time. And then we're going to return with the latest edition of the Tungsten Talk series. Robert Thornton is going to be the centre of attention there. That's at 20 to 12 before the live action gets back underway. That is going to be at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon to see how Group C is going to resume. Carl Wilkinson's going to need a big day tomorrow if he's going to make it through, and he's probably going to need some favours elsewhere. And then it all leads towards Saturday's final, 7:30 p.m. We're going to be live here on Pluto TV. Now, Jimmy Van Schie is already through to that final. He's going to bring his big contingent of fans, alongside him as well. So Jimmy Van Schie, he's going to be there. Are you going to be there? 7:30 on Saturday night is the place to find out. All looking ahead to Champions Week, which kicks off on Monday, April the 21st. But that's it from us here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, where it's Brian Raman who is top of the table going into day 2 of proceedings. Riddle us that from all of us here. Take care. Bye-bye for now.
What a finish! What a man!
The drum roll finishes, and the target is
And it comes on finals night, and it's a lovely
Andreas, Dirty Harry!